Yeah, y'all. I'm back. Uh, Let me turn this down. Turn this down a trifle. Yeah, when Corey ended it, it ended it for me too. I must ain't take control of the show. I don't know. But I'm back in effect. Everybody look like they sleep. Get in here. I know y'all got the notifications. Get in here. You dig? The only reason I really came back is to show y'all that no matter what settings you put it in, I'm gonna cook. All right. So how do you change it? Is it game modes? No. It is my corner. No. Oh yes, it is. Hold on. If I go to my corner, settings. Look, it's already on greatest all time. I've been kicking ass on greatest all time. They had me tricking me thinking I was fighting on some easy setting, yo. It's on the greatest of all fucking time. I know I ain't no motherfucking wankster, man. So let's get it. Yeah. All right. So let's start that Mike Tyson fight over. Since these guys think I was on some old petty shit. All right. Matter of fact, Q, where you at? You come in here and watch how I continue to whoop ass. Y'all gotta cut it out. Anything to hate on the God, James. James, they do anything to hate on the God, bro. You feel me? Now I know what you go through, James. Now I see it. James, I want to finish having that conversation with you though that we were having yesterday. Yeah, I'm Ali. Cuban. Cuban, they tried to say I was playing on easy, yo. Cause I make it look easy. Watch this. Corey, it's gonna look the same, bro. This ass whipping gonna look the same. Watch. Trust me. Here we go. Let's get it. Let me put my link in the chat. Woo, look at me dance come down that aisle. See, James gonna throw me off, yo. Anytime I get James up here, you feel me? Anytime James come up here with that nonsense, somehow I get thrown off. You dig? I don't know where Cube at.
So you saying you're gonna lose because I'm on the mic?
Yeah.
Now you must just really put it on pro like they were
No,
saying or
no.
something.
You are a motherfucking distraction, James.
No, y'all just not what I'm saying is last night was really just a terrible situation, bro.
It was a terrible situation. Hold
I
on. Let me.
mean, if you could, a lot of people throw a lot of stuff out when you having a conversation with them just to win an argument. You know that?
Okay.
So I mean, I just don't be really appreciating people that just dishonest like that. That's just not really. We ain't gonna get nowhere like
So,
that.
so what was dishonest about the conversation last night?
Like I mean, if you play it back, man, I mean, a lot of the stuff y'all was saying was just false. I mean, like the chronology of history going
Uh-huh.
backwards, that's like an anomaly in itself. Um, Saying that Frederick Douglass or Carter G. Woodson or whoever else that was historian that y'all could think of outside of the ones that we think about, um, didn't know anything. Y'all did say that because I went back and looked. Y'all said they wasn't dealing. They never said nothing about it. And then y'all said something about what else did y'all say that was wild? I mean, y'all was really on one last night. But y'all said something else about, hold up, what else did y'all say? Y'all was just all over the place.
Right.
But it's just to win an argument. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's never good commentary when you're doing shit like that. Because when you argue with somebody, you really don't have time to fact check. But I just don't like when people try to be disingenuous. So what I'll do is I'll go back because see, I noticed, and you know what? Let me apologize to the younger brother that was on here last night because I didn't learn my history till I got 38.
That's a problem.
Yeah, but you know, because we were indoctrinated with the wrong history, that's why that happened. I understand that. None of the stuff that we know now, like we say, that we talk about on these shows, was taught in school. You know that.
Yeah, definitely.
Or would you say that they was just on point?
No, yeah, I think the history that I was taught in school was pretty much on point. I think it holds up. It's not as in depth as the stuff that we talk about on here, but the general history that I got in school. What did you disagree with in school? You only 10 years older than me, James. So we're not as far apart as you.
Well, I disagree, and I know that it's not something fictional because like when I was trying to bring up the OOAU plan, they identified that the educational system was the problem for what we needed to know. I mean, a lot of things that was already identified, like I said, prior to us even getting on the planet. You know what I'm saying? We just a continuation, and we have certain things that we can add to it now, like DNA and shit like that. But other than that, the history that was already written down, our ancestors already went through that with a fine tooth comb. As soon as they allowed us to read in like 1860, they got on the job. We ain't no dumb people
at all.
We were just in a
bad
circumstance where we didn't have we wasn't afforded to. But as soon as we got right on the case to try to figure out what the hell they've been lying about and what's going on. So when you start to look at these historians and then people start to say, hey, we want to adhere to we want to adhere to African American history first, you can't do that without going through all of your history. Now, if you want to go through it in reverse chronological order, that's cool, but you still gonna wind up in Egypt.
How? See, that's
because that is the oldest because that is the oldest African civilization on the planet.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let me let Cube in here. But
I mean, and if you think I'm lying about something, you can always go to your buddy ChatGPT and ask them what's the oldest civilization on the planet. Ask them. Ask them what's the oldest African civilization on the planet.
The oldest African civilization.
Yeah, ask them and see what it says.
Yeah.
I mean, if you doubt that I'm saying something that's truthful.
But no, I agree with you. They do list Egypt as the oldest civilization in Africa.
Yeah, okay. So why wouldn't we adhere to that? Why we got to discard it?
No, we don't. Nobody ever said discard it, but Egyptian history don't speak directly to you. We're trying to figure out, James, chill. Let me get it out. We're trying to figure out who we are as a people. Now, who we are as a people is not Egyptian. Do you get that, James?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
but,
so
hold
on. Now, in the broader African sense, are us and Egyptians all African? Yes, we are. But are African Americans descended from Egyptians? Are they our people? No, they not. So learning Egyptian history does not speak to us as a people.
Well, that's not the way most African historians or historians think. They don't think about the way a lay person would think about history. They think about history from a chronological perspective in the order in which it came.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't speak about the Ghana, I mean, like the Songhai Empire or Ghana civilizations if you don't have nothing to read. You understand what I'm saying? You wouldn't know none of the stuff that you know if you didn't go read it.
No,
so that is just the way that this works.
I agree with that.
So how you gonna learn? How you gonna learn about your American history if they would have never allowed us to read? We would still be illiterate.
Right.
So as soon as we got into the world where we could be literate, all of this shit is in play after that.
All right. So,
everything that we went back and read and found is all in play. But you can't talk about the Songhai Empire in 3000 or 4000 BCE. It doesn't exist.
I agree.
Okay.
But in 3000, 4000 BCE, the people in Northeast Africa still are not our ancestors. That's not our people.
Okay. Now, how do you know that?
Yo, because that's a whole genetic pool. That's a whole different region in Africa, right? We don't have no ties to that part of fucking Africa.
Okay. That's cool, Chef. But what if someone were able to show you some genetic evidence that West Africans were off in that region of the
Then we would agree with it. We would agree with it.
I don't think so because I've shown y'all a lot of stuff and y'all act like as soon as it pop up on the screen, y'all can't understand what it is. So I mean I have very little faith that if I were to do something like that, y'all would even be able to
Bro, I'm an atheist, bro. If you show me something and it's evidence and it makes sense, I'm gonna agree with you, bro. Like James, it's not even that difficult.
I got an Egyptian name, right? If it was, you think I wouldn't uphold my father and the shit that he taught me? If y'all could prove that we're descendants of the ancient Egyptians, then my motherfucking pops was right, bro. I'm with that shit. I was raised off of believing this shit.
Well, what I'm saying is this is not.
You learned this shit at 39, bro. This some shit that you learned at 39.
That's when I begin. So that's why I say when I thought about what I said last night as far as, people that's like 36, I was totally in that same position. So it's possible. So what I'm saying is,
I never was in this dark area that you was in for 39 years. Do you get that?
Well, you had to have been because you still not there yet.
No. I stepped away from it. I found that it. I found that.
I'm trying to figure out, Chef. How do you step away from the chronological truth? How do you do that?
No, because it wasn't my chronological truth.
So you saying Egyptians ain't in Africa, huh?
No. Listen. Did I ever deny that I was African? No, I didn't. So am I saying that I'm not African? No, I'm saying that yes, I'm African, but I'm not an Egyptian. I'm not type of African.
Let me ask you this: do you think I'm saying I'm an Egyptian?
If you're
you have to be saying it.
No. I'm asking: do you think that Dr. Clark said he was an Egyptian?
Not Dr. Clark. No.
So why would you think if he ain't?
Dr. Ben did though.
But that's what you're
Dr.
saying.
Ben said he was
like
an
you
Egyptian
constantly tell us that we come from Egyptians. Like,
no, I know. I never said that. And see, that's what I'm saying. I don't really like talking to Q because he be putting all type of shit in your mouth that you ain't even saying. He just don't even listen well. So this is what's going on. African historians before James even got on the planet was already on this case.
So we're not Egyptians. Is what you're saying.
No, we're not Egyptian.
Okay, the game over. That we have nothing else to talk about.
We're African. So you disagree that we're African?
No, there's nothing more to talk about when it comes to the Egyptians because you just said we're not Egyptians. So
yeah, we're not. We're Africans.
So we have nothing else to talk about when it comes to that topic.
You just killed yourself, James.
Bro, we have nothing.
Or the original
Bro,
Africans.
listen, we have nothing else to talk about when it comes to that
Dr.
topic.
Clark don't know. Q know everything.
No, you don't know. You just killed.
That's what's going on.
You killed it,
Q know more than Dr. Clark. That's what's going on.
You just said we weren't Egyptians, so there's nothing more to talk about.
Dr. Clark said we weren't Egyptians either. So what?
And you're saying it too, so you agree with him. So there's nothing more to talk about when it comes to that topic. What part of that don't you get? You just said it, bruh. You said we aren't Egyptians, so there's nothing to talk about when it comes to that topic. Are we Africans? Yes, we descend from those people. Are we Egyptians? No, you just said it. You agree with me. You agree with Dr. Clark. What else is there to talk about when it comes to that topic? What else?
What do you mean? What else?
Now I can agree with everything you say now, James. Now we in
but
agreement.
But who? I mean, this one I'm trying to figure out. Who said we was Egyptian? Explain that shit to me.
But hold on, hold on. We don't have to dig that deep into it because you said that we aren't. So we don't have to dig any deeper. We can stay right there.
But hold on.
But no, we don't have to do
like
anything
they don't
else.
know why we are trying to connect ourselves to Egypt.
But we cannot because we're not them. You just
yeah,
said
we can because we're Africans and they were too.
But
we're not like them.
Yes, it do.
We're not them.
It don't
so you
work
can't
like
connect
that.
yourself to West Africa then. You don't know where you come from in West Africa.
I know I don't come from Egypt.
No, you don't.
I know I don't come from Egypt.
Anybody on this panel talking about they know exactly where they come from in West Africa unless they actually got a parent or somebody that they came from.
I never said exactly.
Fucking lie.
Hold on. You said two things. I never said I can connect exactly, but you said, do I know that I come from West Africa?
This might be the greatest show ever, y'all.
Yeah, that nobody listened to.
No,
because
James just said we wasn't Egyptian.
He just agreed with us.
But hold on. I'm asking you, who said that we was?
I thought that's what you were saying the whole time.
Y'all keep.
It doesn't matter.
With that whole factor.
We don't have to talk about it.
To this history never said we was Egyptian.
So we don't have to talk about it. We don't have to
talk about it because that's the origins of African civilization and African history.
Okay, but
Europeans and other
non-Africans you just said we're not them. You just said we're not them.
No, so hold on, Q. So you're saying Egypt is the origin of West African civilization?
It's the origins of all African civilization.
No, it's not. No,
yes,
it's not. No, it's not.
Was there something before Egypt?
So how is Egypt the origins of civilization
for the rest of Egypt?
How do your non-Africans say this? How do they say that Egypt is the first civilization before their own?
Was there something before Egypt?
How can Europeans give credit to Egypt, but you won't do it?
Was there something before Egypt?
Huh?
Was there something before Egypt? There was a civilization before Egypt?
It was no civilization before Egypt that was writing and have anything that they documented.
Was there a civilization before Egypt?
No.
What are you talking? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you?
Not in Africa.
Q?
Not in Africa.
Okay.
So let's follow Q. Listen, let's just follow James' chronology. Just for shits and giggles. Or whoever chronology you say it is. All right.
Man,
so listen.
You got a screen. Type in what is the oldest civilization.
No, I agree. I'm saying it's the oldest civilization of Africa. I'm agreeing with you.
Now what? Now what?
But you're saying that makes Egypt the origin of West African civilization. Are you saying that?
All of African civilization.
No, it's not.
Anything that comes after that. Yes. Okay. Well, if it's the first civilization, then what else?
Those two people.
It's not the first. It's the oldest. The oldest doesn't mean first.
What is the oldest, Q?
Listen, bro. Oldest doesn't mean first. No, it doesn't.
That's crazy. Did you hear that shit, Chef?
Oldest does not mean first.
He said oldest don't mean first. I hope everybody heard. This is gonna be a really good soundbite. Nigga said oldest don't mean first. What does oldest mean?
Listen,
let me hold up. I don't want to talk to you no more.
When my oldest brothers died, when my oldest brothers died,
what does oldest mean?
Hold on, one at a time.
No, don't oldest mean.
Hold on.
Okay, let me say.
Let him explain what he's saying. Maybe he can give you context.
Let me explain it to you. When my eldest brothers die off, I will be the oldest brother of the 4 boys that my mother gave birth to.
What?
It won't mean that I'm the first. It just means that I'm the oldest at that point. It does not mean that I'm the first. I will be the oldest. I have 3 other brothers. If the 3 older brothers die off,
did you hear this shit, Chef?
It makes sense. It makes sense.
This nigga is crazy. No, it does not make sense.
So you don't think
when
you're
dealing with documented
right? So is it possible, James?
So nobody says that the Green Sahara wasn't around, but it is not a documented civilization.
So James, is it possible that we can find a civilization in Africa that's older than Egypt? Could that even be a possibility?
I'm not saying that nothing's impossible. It is possible.
So
But
if that's
right
the
now,
case,
based on what we got going on,
it is the oldest.
No.
From what we know now, it is the oldest. Yes.
Yeah.
But
So,
like
I mean,
he's
I don't
saying,
understand
that
why we
don't
gotta
make
go
that
through all
don't
Doesn't
make
mean
it
it's
the
the
first.
first.
if,
It don't-
ands, and
but he's
buts
saying
and possibilities about stuff that we already know.
no.
Why we
It's
gotta
it's,
do
it's
that?
just an exercise in thought. That's all.
Wow. Okay.
It's just an exercise in thought. Now, I guarantee you, throughout this conversation, you're gonna throw out some exercises in thought. And then, do you want us to treat your exercises in thought the same way
all
that
it
you're
was,
treating
brother.
his?
That's all.
Nah,
it was,
because
bro.
see, what I'm saying is this, Chef.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, it was a whole, when you go back and you would really just go said it, and what is the other guy's name? Brass. Yeah, I think it's just pretty much them two.
Mm-hmm.
These guys don't know what they're talking about. And it's almost to the point to where they just want to hear themselves talk. Because because if you go back and then they'll say that you didn't say what you said and that you said something else and that they didn't say what they said.
Can I say something to be fair about the conversation? If I'm being fair, brother, I'm not totally against what you're saying, bro. I'm just not totally against it. It's just that
You just like to argue.
no. Listen, if you listen to what you said, you literally just said that we are not Egyptian people.
But
And that,
hold on, let me ask you this, Q. When did I ever say we
Damn.
was?
no, I don't have to go to that,
That's
bro.
crazy.
I don't. No, but listen.
Because
I
it
don't-
seems like you're saying that at once upon a time I said that. And
No,
I
I'm
would
not-
love for
I'm
you
not-
to put on
I'm-
some
I'm-
audio
bro,
where I
I'm
said
not
that I was an
making.
Egyptian.
See, listen, I don't have to make allusions to that.
That's
I
crazy.
only have to go to what you said, and we can be honest and deal with what you said. I'm not going to
Mhm.
illusions that were made. I'm not doing that. You said that we have no connection to these Egyptian people because we aren't those people.
I didn't
I'm
say that.
sta-
That's what you said.
bro, you literally just said we
No,
aren't
I
those
didn't. I
people.
said that we're not Egyptians. That's what I was. Chef
I just
asked
said
me.
the same thing.
No, it didn't. You said some totally off the wall.
I said
type
we
shit.
aren't those people.
I didn't never say that we have totally no
Ooh.
connection to these people. That's what you
Okay,
just said.
bro,
I
I'm
didn't say that.
saying, bro, okay, well, let me make it clear. I'm saying we aren't Egyptians. You also said that we aren't Egyptians, right?
But we are African.
Hold on. Are you saying that we aren't Egyptians?
Am I
Because
saying that the Egyptians are African?
no, let's start at
See what I'm
one
saying?
point.
That's when you start playing dumb game.
But
See, you
hold
see
on,
how
hold on.
dumb this is?
But hold on, but why can't
Why
you
do
agree?
I gotta adhere to dumb games like this?
But why can't you just agree
Because
with me?
I'm more intelligent than that, Q,
But
to
hold
be
on, but
playing
why
a
can't
game
you?
like this.
But why can't you?
I don't
agree
like to
with,
play games. That's
But
why.
why can't? But hold on, but
Because
why
I
can't?
don't like to play games.
But why can't you agree with
Because
me
I
so I
don't
can
like
agree?
to play games.
But you listen, I want to agree with you and talk instead of argue. So there's no need to argue when you are saying the same thing that I'm saying, that we aren't the Egyptians. That's what you said. So I can agree with that. You agree with that. So now let's talk about, are we Africans? Yes, we are Africans. So agree with me so I can agree with you, and then we can move on to the next point. I don't want to argue with you, bro. You said that
So now we Africans. Now what?
now we're Africans, but we aren't
So
Egyptians, like you
so
said.
hold up. Now let me ask you this: are Africans Egyptians?
Absolutely.
So what's the fucking problem?
The problem is we are.
But Egyptians are Africans.
Yes.
Wow.
The same way.
Yo,
Hold
let
on.
me mute out. Let's see the
Hold on.
homie smash the sleeve.
Hold on.
This
The
is
same
crazy,
way.
man. Go ahead.
Hold on.
Hey, you see how they do that fake shit? Now that's the problem all of a sudden.
Hold on.
All
Really
of a
quick.
sudden, since y'all lost the argument about whether Egyptians black or not, now it's whether we are the Egyptians or not. That was never the question. That was never the case. I'm listening to y'all sound like idiots online, bruh. Like I'm just driving around listening to y'all. Y'all sounding like straight up idiots. What's up, Chef?
What's up? So
Hey,
no, this is the
check
current.
it.
Hold on, this is the current argument that we're having right now. That's it. The black thing is still on the table if y'all want to argue it. But we're saying the question was, why would we celebrate Egyptian history if we're not Egyptian? That's the argument that we're having. If we come from West Africa, James is saying that we should trace our history back to Egypt. We should start with Egypt. And we saying, well, we're not Egyptians.
He
Egyptians
said we're
should,
not Egyptians.
yeah, Egyptians should start their history with Egypt. African Americans shouldn't start their history with
So
Egypt.
we shouldn't even start our history. We shouldn't know
Well,
nothing
hold
about
on,
West
y'all.
Africa. So let's leave
Just-
West Africa out of it and just
Hey,
say
Smash.
we just
Hey,
some fucking
Smash.
slaves, and
Hey,
that's all our
Smash.
history is. We
Hey,
just
Smash.
What's up? What's up with you?
Hey,
Chef, that was a good reframing of everything I just heard. But
Mhm.
as I'm just listening to the show, you wasn't laying out nothing that detailed. Y'all was just simply badgering him on, we ain't the Egyptians, so why
No,
we got to trip on
Hold
that?
on, Smash. Hold on,
Mhm.
Smash. Just real quick, bro. I want to lay it out to you, and I think you're gonna agree with me when I say this. I promise you. So, when he said that we aren't Egyptians, I agree with that. The same way that we can agree just because you're a European does not mean that you're Irish.
Mhm.
So that's what he was saying. He's saying, oh, the Egyptians were African. Yes. But we are also African, but we're not Egyptians. That's what he said. So when you transpose that and look at it the same way when you talk about Europeans, not all Europeans are Irish. That's what he was saying, and that's what I was digging down to in the logic. So that's what we were talking about. So you have to delve in it from that point. That's
Man,
all.
this man just made up a whole nother thing. We never even brought up no Irish people. This is crazy.
No, he
I'm
used that
telling
as
you.
he used that as an
Look how
analogy.
Chef, you just made the most sense you can make out of the argument, but in actuality, y'all was just discrediting James' whole stance on the basis and the premise that we were not Egyptians. That's
He
what I
said
was
that.
witnessing.
But bro, he said we're not Egyptians, so we agree with him the same
I,
way.
I understand that, and I'm saying y'all was using that to discredit his entire stance about
Yeah.
researching Egypt.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
nobody ever said that.
No, hold on. I got it. He said that African Americans should start their history with Egypt. And my point is, why would African Americans start their history with our history with Egypt when we're not Egyptians?
Well, just for the record,
I
the
said African and hold up, Smash. I said the African Americans and all Africans should start their history from a chronological perspective, from the oldest that they can go, which starts in ancient Egypt. That is what Dr. Clark and them said, not James. And let me mute that.
All right, go ahead.
But then James was right because he also reiterated that the whole world, like almost everybody, the whole Western world starts their history with Egypt. The start of civilization. I heard him telling y'all that, and y'all acting like, but we West African. And then y'all even asked him, oh, is it any older civilization? Y'all know Egypt is the oldest civilization on this earth. So
Okay,
you will allow, I'm gonna quit real quick. You will allow all Western civilizations to say, okay, the start of civilization is Egypt, but you won't allow James to do it.
No, that's not the case. He agreed and said that we aren't Egyptian. We said, well, we agree with you. We aren't Egyptian. So why would we start
Man,
our
we don't
history?
even need to be talking.
Hold on,
Yeah.
brother. Just relax. Why would we start our history with Egyptian history when he just said and agreed that we aren't Egyptians? So why would we start our history there when we aren't Egyptians, as he just agreed? Why would we start it there? It makes no sense.
Just like I just said real quick, the whole entire world, when talking about world history, they start with the first civilization. Do we agree with that? I mean, they go but to
Yes.
prehistoric times. But when history starts, they start with the first civilization that produced writings. That's Egypt. So that's simple right there. You telling us that we shouldn't do what the rest of the entire Western world do. And we got closer affiliations to those fruits because we Africans. So make some sense out of that, kid. Why shouldn't we?
But listen to the word you just used. You just used affiliation. You used the word affiliation, meaning
I wish I could kick you off.
Meaning, when you use the word affiliation, you mean that we have an affiliation with these people, but we aren't these people. I think, like,
Why
I don't know.
you keep making that point? No one even talking about that. Can you realize that we're talking about something else? Every time I stop talking, you say we aren't these people. I said so hard. The whole world is not those people. The whole Western civilization. If you go to any class, they're gonna say, okay, civilization started in Egypt. So why do you think the only people who ain't allowed to do that, to use that as a reference point, should be Black Africans?
Because it's nonsensical. You can take the whole world as looking at Kamala Harris as she's black when in actuality she isn't. So we can't use the fallacy of the whole
There
world.
you go, jumping off
Hold on,
again.
hold on.
Do it all the time.
We cannot.
You just
We
said-
cannot. Hold on. We cannot use the fallacy of the whole world is doing something, so that makes it true.
Oh.
It doesn't matter what the
Oh.
whole. Hold on, let me finish. It doesn't matter what the whole world is doing. If the whole world is wrong, we should still be able to call out what the whole world is doing.
But
So
the whole
just
world
because
not wrong. But see, that's the problem.
That's what I'm saying. But the whole world is correct.
Yeah, the whole world not wrong with saying that Egypt is the oldest civilization in Africa that we know of. It is, right? But then to try to say that Egypt, just because Egypt is the oldest civilization in Africa, that West African people owe their civilization to Egypt, or it doesn't work like that. You dig what I'm saying?
Oh, it does. You're incorrect.
So
Everybody
hold on.
owes civilization to Egypt. Everybody.
No, I'm talking about us as a people. That's a world thing, right? But we're talking about us.
We in the world.
Oh my God.
What is going on?
All right.
Why are you
Yo,
trying to exclude us from the world?
So niggas 30,000 miles away that was already doing their own civilization thing, but was doing it at a lower rate, owe their civilization to people that was 30,000 miles away?
Yeah.
No.
Man,
The
you know
niggas
what?
in West-
Yo,
hold on. Let me
guess
finish,
what?
bro. Let me finish,
Guess
bro.
where
Let me
the
finish.
Hindus start
Let
their
me-
civilization.
Bro,
at?
let me
Guess
finish,
where they
bro.
start their civilization?
Listen,
Where?
let me finish.
Where?
Niggas,
In their country. They say that the Hindus,
exactly.
they say that the Hindus.
Say
they
that
talking about
again.
They all the Indians.
That's a great
They talking
point.
about Indians, but we Africans. See, ain't that a great point?
No, India
Listen,
is a
Yo, he
country.
said no.
Bro,
So
India
it
is
was
a
great
country.
point
Bro,
with the
India
Indians. But what
India
was it to the
is a
Africans when they had a
country.
great
So
point?
if you Ghanaian, if you just daggered yourself, you said
Bro, you
India.
misunderstood it. Chef,
Uh-huh.
he said Indians, like Indian people.
Right, they
He
start
wasn't
there.
dots on their
Right.
head. The
Right.
Hindu the people. That's what I'm
Right,
talking about.
and that's in India,
They
right?
start their civilization from right there.
Right there, right.
And they got a writing system and everything. They
It
and
start
it had
they-
nothing to do with Africans. It had
The
nothing to do with
Arabs, they
Africans.
start their history right with Muhammad. The
Exactly.
Jews, they start their history right with Abraham.
You're talking about.
Everybody do this.
You're talking
It's-
about
y'all want us not to
Pacific
do it.
countries and specific people. So you're daggering yourself. So why would a Ghanaian or a Nigerian
We
start?
Africans.
Bro, you naming countries and particular people. And
No.
then you hold on, you
India-
said
hold
Jews.
up. See, this
Bro,
the
no,
difference between-
James,
hold up,
James,
listen.
I listened to
The
you.
difference
You gotta
between
live.
them is they all
my
one
God,
thing.
Joe.
These African countries you talking about have borders that's arbitrary to not say Africa.
This is
But Africa
Yo,
is the
Chef,
whole
just get it out,
motherfucking
bro.
continent.
Just
I
get it
can't.
What's
out,
wrong
bro.
with y'all?
so James.
Egypt ain't nothing but something that they done carved out of it. But Egypt is in Africa.
Bro, you got, bro, you have
motherfucking
communities
thing.
30,000
What's wrong
miles.
with y'all?
Bro, you got
Make your
communities
point,
30,000
Jeff.
miles away that were doing their own fucking thing that had nothing to do with
So-
Egypt.
I
And they
don't
built.
believe nothing, Q. Yeah, come on, let's Chef make his point. Please,
Hold
deal
on.
with here.
So James, you just said the Hindus start their history in India because Hindu people come from India. You said the Jews start their history right there in Israel because Jews come from Israel. Then you said the Arabs start their history with Islam because Islam come from Arabia. I agree with you. So why would a Nigerian start their history with Egypt? If each people start their history,
their own country.
That was your litmus that you just gave. So I'm
But
trying
then
to.
guess what? All of these, that's crazy that you can't see this. All of these
Oh, my
people
God.
that I just mentioned, they started it off with a writing system, didn't they?
No, you're missing it,
Yes,
bro.
they
These other,
did. Oh,
Yo,
man.
bro, listen,
Y'all
hold
go,
on.
y'all
Let
go
me
ahead
just
and
say this.
argue. Y'all go
Let me
ahead and
just say
argue.
this, bro.
Y'all
Listen,
switched
let me
the
say this one thing.
conversation.
let me say this one thing. When you talking about these different countries, they started their civilization in their countries without help from anybody else. So yes, if you want to say Egypt is the oldest, you can say that. But when you talk about India, they started their shit by themselves. When you talk about West Africa, these people started that shit by themselves. So were there influences that came in later? Yes, you can say that. But these people started it by themselves. What is
Did
niggas missing?
did
So you
did,
don't
did the
think Africa
Benin
started Egypt by themselves?
A
did,
whole lot, bro.
did, did
Like a lot of the things that happen in the Idris Valley or wherever they start, they didn't call those full developed civilizations. A lot of the things that happen with the Bazarians and the Tasians, they just call them smaller chiefdoms and small cultures. They don't call them full developed civilizations because they did not, quote unquote, move outward and they did not record
Okay,
history. They did not
so
have
watch
writing.
this. So watch this. So when we look at the Indian people, they started their civilization by themselves. Did they have influences from other people? Yes, they did. But when it comes to starting their actual shit, they started it by themselves. We cannot discount that and try to act like Egypt had an influence on everybody, because no, Egypt influenced people after they was already starting this shit, that they helped
See,
other people.
when I listened to y'all, I was noticing that we switched from, and I was like, dang, we switched from where civilization started to how people cite their history. And I think that was a problem because I'm only chiming in to be like, y'all, I mean, I thought y'all was grossly wrong about the parts about civilization starting in other places. I think it's all well known that it started in Egypt. Yeah, things developed, smaller cultures developed in other places, but the system of government and all that, they say that developed in Egypt. But when we switched up to saying, okay, where one should base their history, I think y'all got some relevant points. And so maybe we should just clear up the conversation and see.
But hold on, let's be fair.
what's bad.
But hold on, let's be fair. To your point, if we're saying that civilization started in Egypt, we have to say when we look at these Indian people, when we look at the Chinese people, they started their civilization by themselves. So we have to say, okay, damn, were they influenced by these people at a later date to where they begin to have aqueducts and certain different things after that? Yes, we can attribute that to Egypt coming in and helping these people to then do what they did. But we cannot just say that Egypt just started every fucking thing when that's not true. We have people that was 30
Nobody
to 40.
said that.
But listen,
This shit is
bro,
crazy.
but bro,
That's why I'm saying, listen, man, when you start to talk about civilization, you're going to start that off with Egypt in Africa. You cannot talk about the Songhai. You can't talk about Timbuktu. You can't talk about nothing else until it comes into it.
But you know what you can
Nobody
talk about?
denied. Hold on. Nobody
West
denies
Africans, why
none
not?
of this West African history. We only talk about it in the context of when it comes into existence in history.
Okay, well let's talk
So
about the
nobody's
Chinese.
doing that.
Okay, so watch this. Since you want to holler, what the fuck influence did Africans have on the Chinese when these motherfuckers was 100,000 miles away? What influence did they have on them? And
I
did
don't
it
even
come?
know why you're talking about that.
See, because you want to play games and you don't want to actually understand that these people, these Chinese people, were doing their own fucking thing before even Egyptian people even came over there. Did they come over there and install certain things? Yes. But did they start their own thing? Yes, they did. You want to make it seem like just because Egypt was the oldest that they just spread their shit across to everybody. That's not true. And
Well,
that's
then
the
why
shit.
do everybody else do this? Why is this just an anomaly for us that we can't start our history from the
It's
old?
not a fucking anomaly, bro. It's not.
You moving the goalposts too much, Q. I'm trying to pay attention to detail. Earlier, you was nitpicking about what was the difference between the first and the oldest. So if you had any real concerns when you was nitpicking about that, the contention was whether the oldest civilization would be the first civilization. Now, if we applied that to the scrutiny, to what we're doing right now, it's showing you just arguing to argue because your stance ain't making no sense. Let's suppose that you did say, okay, the oldest ain't the first, and then we come over. You saying that the oldest don't mean it's the first, and then you coming over to the Hindu civilization and you trying to use their antiquity or their antiquity to act like it does have some standing and developing by itself or being independent or
Okay.
first.
Let me explain what I was trying to do. What I was trying to do was I was trying to show that civilization sprouts up where it sprouts up, and it doesn't care where it sprouts up. That's the only thing that I was trying to make clear to this brother. That civilization sprouts up where it sprouts up. No different when you look at evolution. It sprouts up where it sprouts up.
So
That's
why?
all I was trying to
so
say,
let me.
bro.
Okay, so
I
all
was
that's
not.
cool,
I
all that's
was. I
cool.
was not
Check
trying
this out. So
to.
check this out. So we got some Africans, right? They some historians too. Why they talking about Egypt first?
Who?
Why they just jumped over their own?
We
fucking
have no
head?
Because
problem
they were
with
in
Egypt.
Africa.
I was hold on, no. But this is a question to you guys. Why
Because
did
they were in
the most
Africa.
prominent historians that we have on the continent of Africa
Because
just
they
jump
were
over
in
their own
Africa.
Hold up, no.
Hold on, let them
Let
talk.
me
Let
ask
them
the
get it out.
question. Let me ask the question. Why did the most prominent historians on the continent of Africa jump over their own West African history and point us to Egypt? Go, Q.
That's what everybody would do. Everybody looks
Now,
at. Oh my
So y'all
God,
smarter
bro.
than them?
How the fuck is
So
this
y'all
shit
smarter
hard?
than them? So you smarter than a West African scholar who say that we should look to Egypt.
Bro, listen. What I'm saying is this. When it comes to the first civilization, if you want to say that it came out of Egypt, you can say that. I can agree with it. Anybody can agree with it. But what you cannot do is you cannot transpose that and say when these Asian motherfuckers, when they sprouted up and they had civilization, that Egypt had anything the fuck to do with it. They
You're
didn't.
right, Q.
Why
You're
you talking
100%
about
right,
that,
but nobody said that tonight. You just making a red herring argument. Nobody said that. So you are, if it sounds like somebody said that, I didn't hear it.
We
He
talking
was
about
just
shaking
No,
the dick
listen.
out right now.
No,
If
hold
we
on.
ask
This
you
dude,
that, you
hold on.
went all
This
the way
dude,
off the course.
hold on. This dude is making an argument because he tried to say, Pan African James tried to say that Africans came up with the first civilization, so they influenced everybody. And the reason I'm saying that,
he was saying,
I didn't
he
say
said,
that. See,
hold
he
on,
just
hold on.
he did not say that. I was listening in the audience, Q. He was saying that the whole Western world based their starting point off that, so why can't we?
Because it makes
That's
no
what I
sense.
said. And he said it don't make
hold
no
on.
sense.
So this was the issue that I was having with James. James, listen to this. And I already reiterated that to you, but I once smashed the head. All right. Now, if African Americans are trying to find out who they are, I was saying, why would we start our history in Egypt? I said what we do is we take it like a stopwatch. We start from where we're at and rewind it back. Now, if we end up in Egypt, then so be it. But if we rewind it back, we're going to go to our fathers and our grandfathers, and we're going to go back to a slave plantation down south. And then that slave plantation from there, we're going to go to some ship ladens that probably left from West Africa, right? That came to the east coast of the United States or the Caribbean, right? And then we're going to
as you explained, Chef, I can't disagree with you. I have no disagreements because of the way you started your sentence.
Right.
You said if African Americans want to know who we are, you 100% right. But the study of Kimmy is not limited to wanting to know who we are. Our chief contention was saying that the Egyptians were black people, not saying that they were us. We're saying that they were black people and that this was a black contribution to the world. You see, not saying that we was them.
Right, so I understand that. So I'm tabling that. So my point is, what y'all was arguing on your show the other day, what Logic was trying to say was that, yo, if we're African Americans and we're trying to find out who we are, I'm not going to start with Egypt first because I'm trying to figure out who I am as a people. That's it.
Well, I don't think genetically, I don't think James can tell you the same thing. He got a DNA test, right? And I'm sure it'll show. If we got clues to where we should look for if that is what the question on the table is. But it seems like just in the nature of this discourse, that became the question that was on the table. Because I didn't interject because you making perfect sense now. And I didn't feel like I needed to click on the panel because you making perfect sense. Y'all was saying some whole other shit. Like, we shouldn't even fuck with Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't got nothing to do with us. But the fact that we black people, whether we are them or not the black people who did it, we were saying that Egypt is included in black history because those are a body of black people. And people can be proud of that. I don't see what's the matter with that.
No, that wouldn't be an issue. I wouldn't have an issue with that if they were black. But the point is, if I'm trying to figure out who the hell I am, right? If I'm trying to figure out who I am, I'm not going to go all the way to... all right. When we was growing up, we all around the same age, all right? The Nation of Islam was very influential, right? And they started their history off in fucking Mecca, right? Because they had the wrong history and knowledge of who the fuck they was, right? The same way the Moors, they had a wrong history of who the hell they was. So they were starting off in the wrong place. So if it's the same thing with us now, we should never, as African Americans, try to start our history off in Egypt. We're going to end up, we ain't going to know who the hell we are. We done skipped over.
Well, to be clear, history starts off in Egypt, but you're right. You don't want to be going back to the beginning of history. You want a more local source of who you are. You don't want to have...
Hold up. Like, this is what I got a problem with.
Now disagree with Smash.
We all know. No, slow down. We all know that we've been indoctrinated with American history. We know this shit. We know we some fucking slaves. Now, if you want to go off into your own personal history, which that's what we all got to do because we all ain't related to each other. We all got a different story on this country.
Exactly.
So what the hell is going on? We know we came off them damn boats. So from there, we dropped off in West Africa. Now, so when we dropped off in West Africa, none of us know where we from in West Africa, by the way. Right? So when we start to connect with our brothers in West Africa, and our brothers, the greatest of our historians over here, they're hooked up with the greatest of the historians in West Africa. And the greatest of West Africa, guess what the greatest of the historians in West Africa is doing? They point the greatest of the historians in America to Egypt. Ain't that crazy?
You know what? You're right. You know they do. Wait. Which historians don't point back to Egypt of any culture? You can go get a Chinese historian, they're gonna tell you that Egypt has some of the grandest shit. Maybe not for their culture, but of the world.
Right. No, I agree. Everybody acknowledges Egypt's greatness, but why would a Nigerian?
Why would a Senegalese or a Congolese, and why would they do it?
Well, Sheikh Anta Diop, he was a Muslim. Why would he be a Muslim? Right? It's the outside
because
world
he got
has
indoctrinated.
Right, exactly.
See what I'm saying? That's why we Christians.
Exactly. So nothing. So what about his culture? If a Senegalese person is a Muslim and studies Egyptian history, then he's not upholding his own people and his own culture. He got that problem.
Found out. What the hell?
No, listen.
You think his parents is indoctrinated with Islam?
Yes. So he was human. He was human, bro.
Y'all just added another element to it. Y'all be all over the place.
No, because he was pointing to Sheikh Anta Diop and them pointing us to Egypt, right?
They West African.
Right, they West African. Well,
and they're the most prominent historians on the continent from what we know.
Yeah, but
exactly.
But he's still influenced by the Western culture. He was in France, right?
Hold on, let's stop right there. Explain to us what you're saying.
I'm trying.
He went outside the box. He wasn't riding with what they were saying. He's like, nah, what y'all saying, what we done looked at, that shit is not right, and we ain't riding with that. That's what he said.
Yeah, but he didn't find.
Nigga, we ain't riding with
he
that
didn't
shit.
find
Nigga,
nothing
wrong, nigga.
He didn't find nothing to his satisfaction. Now listen to what I'm saying. He didn't find nothing in his culture amongst his people as satisfaction for himself. So he pointed to Egypt.
No,
I just made that up.
No, come but we
They
do
play
it.
that song Smash. What's that song he just made? What's that song you say that in? He just made that up.
You made that up. So when did Sheikh Anta Diop, if Sheikh Anta Diop is a great historian, when did he teach us in the world about Senegal?
See, this is what I'm trying to
Point
tell
me
you.
to his writings where this great historian was telling us about his people and
The
his
greatness
culture.
of Senegal.
This is what I'm
Greatness of
trying to tell
Senegal.
y'all. Y'all trying to mandate something of a person who. So don't you know how if I came to
No,
Baltimore?
we ain't trying to mandate nothing. We trying to ask for the greatness
Let
of
me just get my
Senegal.
analogy
Let
out.
him
You
get
didn't
it
even
out.
let me speak on it.
Go
Look, imagine if I came to Baltimore and I had my presuppositions about Baltimore, like, oh, what I think you should be saying about Baltimore. And then you might tell me, Smash, that ain't even where it's at. I'm over here in this other place. I barely even go into Baltimore.
But imagine if you go to Baltimore and never talk about Baltimore, but you're talking about Miami.
Right.
That's the whole thing that Chef is trying to say, because he never even talked about the greatness of Senegal. Like, come on, man, knock it off, bro. We playing games,
messed
bro.
up the analogy. You just messed up the analogy completely.
Man, Cube don't know what Sheikh Anta Diop was talking about. Just to be clear right there. He just saying that just to be saying it.
So
The
when they
analogy
wrote the
about
history of
asking Chef
Africa,
about Baltimore is Chef knows what to tell me about his home location. Likewise, Diop would know what we need to know about Senegal. And if he's telling us this ain't what you need to know, you need to know Kemet, why wouldn't we respect that?
So what did he write about Senegal that was so great that we should be following?
Oh, you didn't hear nothing I said. Never mind.
But I heard exactly what you said. It's just that you don't want to respond to it.
So my thing would be if so when they wrote the general history of Africa, right? When they was tasked to write the general history of Africa or contribute to it, right? That the UN, they wanted Africans to participate. Am I right or wrong?
Correct.
James? All right, so
yeah, why they ask him though?
Right.
They
So
just went to ask somebody,
it was
somebody
hold
else.
on, check it out. It was another Senegalese scholar who went and got him, who was actually the head of the study, right? They put another I think his name was Muhammad Mukhtar, right? Or something like that. Now he was another Senegalese historian. They put him in charge. He went and got Sheikh Anta Diop and a couple other Africans that he felt was fit for the task. Now, these people focused most of their attention on Egypt and neglected the rest of Africa. That was the problem.
True.
If you're trying to write the general history of Africa and you focus 80% of it on Egypt,
that's what they assigned him to do.
No, but he said what Chef is saying is completely untrue.
Go ahead.
It's just not true. That's a 3-series book. You only got one of them. The one you talking about is the one that's based on Egypt. If we go into book 2 and 3, they talking about other parts of Africa.
Yeah, but the majority of the resources and stuff, I read that it was used on the Egyptian part.
You are correct about that, because the majority of the research and the majority of the funding in this world has been going into Egypt. So it's kind of like saying, you ain't got nothing to play with if you want to talk about these other places. You might have 3 archaeological findings to speak about.
Right.
And also, none of the other stuff was in contention about the history. They already know that's what the rest of the history was correct. The only thing that was in contention was who was the people of that, the original people of that civilization. So they probably had to take more time and more resources on that.
Okay.
Here's the deal. Why y'all ain't brought out, like we brought out all this shit about Egypt? Why y'all ain't bringing out all the stuff about West Africa?
Because it ain't nothing.
That's our point.
Right.
Well, what are you talking about?
No, we got to live with that shit though, bro. Like we can't look just because it's not.
You just don't study nothing, so you just don't study nothing then.
No, we study. Listen, we focus on Egypt because everybody else focuses on Egypt. You already admitted that. right? We have the same issues, the same way why, we can go on Garfield channel and he's talking about the Bible all of the time. We live in the Western world. The Western world is infatuated. That's their shit. The Bible, Egypt, all of that stuff. We American. So if they say that Egypt is great, then African Americans is going to focus in on Egypt. If they are preoccupied with Christianity and Islam, that's what we're going to focus on, because we're now vessels of Western civilization. We do the same thing they do. That's
We're
it.
American.
Not really, though. Not ultimately, though. They focus on Israel. We ain't tripping off that.
Oh, no, we ain't tripping. Yes, we do. That is
So
all in our
explain
news. Your whole
explain the Black
show,
Hebrew Israelites.
your whole show yesterday, you was talking about what was going
You're
on
right.
in Israel.
That's
fam.
because it's a current event and
Right.
it's a hot topic, but that don't mean when we looking for who we are, we start going about Israel.
I don't
Explain the
know.
Black Hebrew Israelites, bro.
No, explain the black church, right?
It's a
Ja-
few. It's a
You
few.
see,
There's a
all
few
of
of
this
them.
man,
James
see,
make
look,
this
no,
point.
no, hold on,
Now,
man. I gotta
James,
get it,
now
man.
this
I
where
gotta
you
get
come
it.
in at. This
I
where
gotta
you come in
get
at,
it.
James.
Cause now you talking about what about the black church? But
Yeah.
last night, y'all
That's where
acted
you
like
coming
it
at.
wasn't a problem. Y'all acted like y'all didn't know what I was
No,
talking
no,
about.
Smash just
About the
brought it up.
indoctrination problem of African people with other people's history.
Right.
That is why Sheikh Anta Diop, Dr. Clark, and all of our scholars looked at that and said, we got to have something that, for number one, that predates, even though this is great that this is really how the shit turned out,
Mhm.
we got something that predates the stuff that they indoctrinated us with. Because if we use West African history, they can say, nah, look, we was writing at 3000 BCE. Y'all wasn't right. That's what they can tell the West African. But
We
they can't
wasn't.
I know, but they can't tell us. They can't tell us. And the East Africans wasn't right before them.
We
and they
ain't
can't
East
tell us
African.
we Africans. And Africans migrate. They left the Green Sahara, Chef. You know that, right? When it get hot, Africans ain't done. We know how to move around. So we moved around and we went to where some water was.
Mhm.
The Nile. Ain't that see how smart we are? And then we migrated until so when,
Man,
when
that ain't smart. That ain't smart. A dog would do that, James. That's not smart. A dog would do that.
We ain't nothing but another mammal. So great. I'm glad you get that.
Mhm.
But see what I'm saying is you got to acknowledge it. Just like those giraffes and those hippopotamus and everything, the lion and everything left the northern part of Africa when it got hot.
Mhm.
So did we. So we everything across that southern Sahel, all of us are the same, genetically mixed up. That's why you can go and say, what is an African? They're gonna tell you, how can you tell an African what an African is genetically? They're gonna say they're the most diverse. That's all the way across the Sahel.
But here's the problem.
I'm talking. That's all the way across the Sahel. The
Right.
genetic diversity of sub-Saharan Africans is the highest. That's how they know that we've been genetically mixing for millennia, for 230,000 years.
And you
from
know
what
what?
they say.
And you know what? We can look at all the wondrousness of what you're talking about. But at the end of the
Watch
day,
the
you said
negativity come in.
that we are not Egyptians. So it's game to fuck over. All of that, what you just said, was wondrous. But when you end it or begin it with "we're not
Man, I'm
Egyptians,"
not talking to you no more.
yeah, straight like that. I know it's
Yeah,
best.
that shit
It's
you talking
it's
about is
best.
idiotic.
It's best not to
Watch
talk
this,
to me.
Q.
It's best
Watch
not to
this,
talk
Q.
to me because
Why
you
did
said that we
Sheikh
were
Anta
not these
Diop? You
people.
talking about West Africa? That's
It's
what you
best
say you
not
like.
to talk
Why
to
was
me
Diop
because
talking about Egypt? Tell us that,
it's
Q,
listen.
since you know
It's
so
He
much.
was
best.
infatuated by
Listen.
it.
Listen.
Oh, okay,
It's
that's what it
best
was.
not to talk.
He
to
said
me.
he was, but y'all got some hell of an answer.
No, hold on. So, it is a guy that I like. The one who said that, what did he say? The one that said that the hieroglyphics haven't been deciphered. The black scholar. What's his name, James?
Walter Williams.
Walter Williams, right? Now, when you listen to Walter Williams, right? He says that Egypt is the only civilization, right, that can give Africans their pride back, what we lost in slavery and colonization, right? And then he even says that for the African American. He said the ancient Egyptians, our ancestors, that's the only people that can give us back our pride, right? So by him saying that, I have the same sentiments that maybe Diop and them believe that also, right? They didn't think that West Africa had enough grandeur in their history that could give us back our pride. So that's why it seems as though they pointed to Egypt so much. What do you think about that, James?
That's the consensus of the African historian.
Okay.
Why did what you got to answer is why did they write if it's true? So you said it ain't true, I guess, but if it is true, so when we find out truth, because they would not allow us to even look at this stuff. So when we start to delve through the history and found out that it's in Africa, we start to look back at the pictures and everything else, what they said, thanks to Smash, these people say things that only Black people do and say. So
but
you just got
James, why couldn't we accept that we wasn't as developed as Egypt in those places at that particular time, and we got our show on the road a little bit later, right? Hold on. Okay. That we just wasn't at that level of organization yet, right? So think about it. Do the people in Vietnam, right? Do they say I gotta connect myself with China because our civilization came about later? You know what I mean? So we don't feel as though we're good enough. So the only place that can give us pride is to connect ourselves and try to act like that we have something to do with ancient China. That's not
no. Look, but see, you're missing the elements. You're missing the whole element, and I don't see how you're doing this. Okay. I don't get it.
Help me out.
Check this out. Europeans took that civilization from the Africans and said it was theirs. And it is documented when you go look at the Ten Commandments, Moses, or any other movie that you see. They are claiming that history is their own. That is the reason why the symposium even had to happen.
You notice he ain't answering the question, right?
I'm answering the question because Chef is alluding to he's acting like he don't know why we had to even go and fight for the history. Nobody else ain't fighting for their history.
You notice he
roll us out of here. Y'all don't know this?
When I get a chance, I want to add something that we need to address because
go ahead.
It's this. They got a term in just in English or in literature called a royal we. The royal we. I know y'all familiar. If you Google the royal we,
yeah, we have it in this song.
Yeah, it was kind of like when the king wanted to do something and he wanted his will to be done. So he said, we need to do this.
Right.
But he really just trying to get, we starting to employ a little bit of the opposite of that, some type of it's not royal. It's
a
more
royal negative. Where we negating ourselves, right?
Yeah, so first and foremost, we got this we thing going on as if Black people in America are indeed a monolith. Like that, just because slavery, the way that it occurred on the West Coast, that indeed we was all on the same boat. And we got treated this way, and we this and we that. But that's more romanticism, even though it's about a negative thing, is romantic to be like, oh, where Chef people came from is exactly where my people came from. And where your people came from is exactly where my people came from. I just think that's kind of romantic, and I wanted to put that out there.
All right, so
yeah, so that goofy nigga that's saying that, I think he should understand what you're saying because it makes a lot of sense.
Man, I'm gonna tell y'all like O-Dog told Kane when he was getting ready to take his ass to Atlanta. No matter where you go, you still in America. These police are treating us the same no matter what state we in. So these laws are all the same no matter what state we in to various degrees. But this is America, and we all have the same collective history. They see us as Black African people. And that's just what it is. You want to deny that, that's you.
This is the retardation.
Yeah,
this is the
retardation.
You just counted. Listen, hold on. James, you just counted what Smash said, not nothing that we said.
I wasn't speaking about us currently being a monolith, of course, we black people, yeah, we all the same thing. I was talking about where we come from when we start to look into our ancestry. We'll all see different things. Even if I guarantee you, if I do my DNA, it's not gonna say I come from where James came from. You see what I'm saying? So this we wasn't even a we over there. I probably was a tribe fighting against your tribe. So I'm just like this we thing is problematic.
Yeah, but the thing is like James is a retard, so he doesn't understand that. That's why we're saying what we're saying.
No, what I'm saying is, once you don't know, that was a gift and a curse, because when you don't know something like that, now we don't have this particular fighting. We do have
tribalism, right?
Yeah, we don't have that particular element, even though we've created it again here in America, because we know Chef from Baltimore based on his accent. Y'all know I'm from Texas based on my accent.
And I know you're dumb, and I know you're dumb based off your accent.
That's how it worked. You see what I'm saying? Now it's gonna be an attack on James.
Y'all see
every
what I
time
just did
see
to Mike
Q.
Tyson?
But that's cool though.
Yeah, well, I was speaking towards the we ain't them. That's what I was speaking towards.
Jesus.
So
no,
we ain't. So he said he's speaking towards the we ain't them.
Are you playing on 10, man? If you
bro,
playing on
it's
10,
it's on All Star.
Yeah, he said he showed that before he got on the show.
Exactly. Y'all hating. Y'all just mad.
Hey, hold on. Mash start. Hold on. Mash start. Go to the settings and let's see if it's on 10.
Man, I already showed it.
You niggas is weak as shit. Hold on. Let me see.
It won't show me in this screen.
Yeah, I know. You niggas is weak, bro.
Bro, I already see. Yo, that's crazy.
Bro, you playing the computer, bro. Like
it don't make. You told me to put it on the hardest setting, and I was gonna get spanked. And the game, it was already on the hardest setting. But
I don't believe you.
I'm doing the same thing. You a hater?
You're not.
Get him, James.
No, I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. I just don't think you. I just don't think you're nice. Like,
he just like to argue.
He just like to argue.
About this.
Nah, I just don't think you're nice.
Okay.
Like, and you ain't even one for real. You just kind of like throwing wild punches.
And then when you ask, one thing I noticed about you, Q, when somebody asks you a question that's true, you want to answer.
What'd you?
Yeah, I want to answer, nigga. What the fuck you talking about? How does that not make sense if I ask a question?
So what was the first book that the Europeans gave to African Americans when they allowed us to read?
Bro, I'm not gonna tickle your fancy.
He said you wasn't gonna answer, yo. And you
I won't even
tickle your fancy, bro.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Because you know what?
When you wrong, you never will admit it, and that's a flaw.
Bro, you know what? It is a personal flaw because you know, personally, I don't respect you enough to give you that.
I know, but I don't know. I don't need you to respect.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, bro. I think you like no disrespect, but it could be disrespect.
When you say
I think
no disrespect is about to be disrespectful.
Yeah, I think you're a piece of shit.
I don't care though. This was
I'd rather
let him know.
So I'd rather not.
Say, homie,
bro, I'd rather not,
care
bro.
What you say, I ain't
okay,
never.
Well, okay, but I'd rather not.
So why would you say something like that about somebody?
Bro, I'd rather not go there with you, bro, because I'm cool off that, bro. I'd rather not go there with you. I don't think you're an honest character. I don't think that the things that you say or the things that you do are honest when you do.
Why does the most prominent West African historian point African American, the greatest African American historians to Egypt? Why did they do that, Q?
Brother, I apologize, but I'd rather not, bro. I think you're a piece of shit.
Every time I ask some good questions.
So hold on. So Sheikh Anta Diop was the greatest African historian.
Well, if you look around, and when the UNESCO conference came around, they showed when it picked him.
He was the greatest.
Why did they do that?
Name one with greater accomplishments, Chef.
Historian.
Why when UNESCO came up, they went and picked him, Chef? Answer that. I got a question.
I was alluding to that his homeboy, another Senegalese scholar, was the head of the joint and picked him. That's Muhammad Mukhtar was the head of the whole the symposium, the draft, the history of Africa. right?
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the Senegalese Senegalese brother. Wasn't
The
the head of
Senegalese dude name was Abdullah.
Abdullah, whatever. Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah, and he
No,
was the
no,
one
I'm
that was
sorry.
governor.
He was the head,
Hold on.
right?
Let's slow down. He was Sudanese.
I don't know about that.
I remember him now, Smash. He was the one that was agreeing, and they had to get the grammarian Sonoron in the situation.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know if
what
that's
happened.
who. I don't know what Chef is talking about. All we got to do is open up the document, the pre-document that show. I think you acting like you know something and you remembering wrong.
Okay. Well,
Sometimes you can remember wrong.
it is easy to
You said
check
Mohammed Mukhtar, so you said a name specifically, so you got that from somewhere. You could be right. Where you get that name from? Who is Mohammed Mukhtar?
I think he was the head of the symposium. The UNESCO put him as the head. Yeah. And I think he was. I think
so they
he was
put an African
Senegalese.
in charge of the whole thing, huh?
Yeah, they wanted the Africans to write their history, bro. Like they was trying to be as fair as possible. They said if we're gonna write the history,
then they went
of
and pick
Africa,
shake. What was crazy about they went and pick shake, huh?
No, listen. They said Africans should write their own history, so they went and got Africans to write the history of Africa. They was trying to be fair.
What Africans did they go get?
They went and got the dude Mohammed Mukhtar, or he said his name Abdullah, or whichever.
Dang, I don't know who Mohammed. Google Mohammed Mukhtar, bro. You keep saying that.
Let me see if I can find out who Mohammed Mukhtar is right there.
Yeah. He just made that dude up.
He said, "I just made it up." All right,
well, it's gonna be funny because you remember it wrong and you just make it up a name.
Okay.
I was screaming my house up. I was tripping.
All right, Muhammad. It's not even spelled the same way that we spell Muhammad. Is one of those West
James,
African
just think
ways
about how many times we read that document. Don't you think you would be remembering Mohammed Mukhtar?
So y'all about
how you spell that Mukhtar?
Y'all about to show that I might be a little bit keener than y'all on that.
Okay, come on. That's true. That's true.
Who is he? Maybe I need to put UNESCO.
Mohammed Mukhtar.
That's like a military general for Hamas or some shit.
You've been listening to too much news,
right?
Because this ain't popping up, Chef. Is Mukhtar Mouton? How do you spell it? Muhammad Mukhtar?
Mukhtar.
I don't know, but it ain't. I put UNESCO next to it. If it was somebody even similar, it would have popped up.
If I go to the room, I'll pull up all their names. We can pull up all their names, but I just don't remember him.
What is it called? It's called the General History of Africa.
Yeah, so even if, let's just keep on with your point. Your point you was trying to make was that another Senegalese person brought Diop.
Yeah. History of Africa. Let's go to volume 1, the PDF. Let's see.
Well, we was in this volume 2, right?
I was just screaming. I don't know what I was doing.
He wouldn't be the editor. He would be the...
I'm talking about when we was talking hella loud. Everybody sleep in my house. Shit.
Oh, yeah, you ain't got loud. Yeah, me too. I had to close my door.
Yeah, I was hella loud.
I think it's Mukhtar. He was the general director. Mahtar.
You see that? You see that?
What?
You see that? Or are you just saying that?
No, I see it. I'm looking at it.
What is that?
It's Amadou Mukhtar.
Amadou Mukhtar.
He's the director general of UNESCO.
Okay. Say he's Senegalese.
Yeah.
Say that?
No, I'm about to look it up now. But I think it, so. I was right already. Y'all said y'all
I
ain't
don't
even
know.
never heard this dude before. Now I just pulled up the general history of Africa, and I said he was the head of it, and he's definitely the general of UNESCO. The what it say?
Hold on. You said Muhammad Mutar. Now, what is his name?
Hold on. Is Amadou?
Amadou Mukhtar Mbow
Yeah.
Okay. I never heard of him.
is
All
a
right.
Senegalese academic and
Haman.
politician.
Haman. Say it again, James.
After graduating, a graduating student at the Sorbonne in Paris, he returned to Senegal to teach geography and history.
I rest
He
my
was
case.
Minister of Education and Culture between 1952 and 1957, a period of internal self-government before embarking on
James, where was he from
independence.
again?
He's from Senegal.
Thank you. We're shaking.
Okay.
Oh, he said he
Yeah.
returned. Yeah, yes. He's a
So now
Senegalese.
make your point now, Chef. You got
Already-
all your sources. So what's the point about him? I forgot. What about this
I
dude?
said that one of his Senegalese brothers went and got him. That's what I
Okay.
said. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool to know.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay, so he went and got him, and then what happened?
And then Sheikh Auntie Diop started lying.
Yeah, that's crazy.
See, he didn't have nothing to say about this. See?
I don't know what's wrong with you, man.
No, but so what I'm saying is they went and got Africans to write it. It wasn't biased or anything like people try to say it is, because Africans was hidden the whole thing. You dig what I'm saying? So why would these West Africans spend all of this time in fucking Egypt when they was supposed to be writing the history of Africa? Why would they spend that much
Let me see, let me
resources
smash
when
go.
all of
Let's
that?
see if
Hold
you
on.
go
When the rest of Africa is the ones that's under excavated and unknown, right? This was the time
So
when
let
we
me
could
just-
get out the history, right, and pour those resources into us understanding Africa as a whole. And you put
But
all of that.
you ain't paying them no respect.
Huh?
Like it's like if we all flew to Africa on a plane right now, and you know you want to go where you want to go, and the people who escort us around tell us, nah, you don't want to go there. You want to go here. They're doing that intellectually. Our African escorts, our brothers who know West Africa because they live there, would tell their American brothers who don't know the continent at all,
Mm-hmm.
if you try to take a scholastic journey to Africa, you don't necessarily need to spend as much time in the places you think you need to spend them in. You need to focus on Egypt. That's what they telling us as our courtiers, as our escorts, as our
Mhm.
scholars. So why would we disrespect their knowledge? They know West Africa better than us.
Right. So is the respectful the same? Wouldn't it be good if if those scholars, right, that we put those scholars up above all other scholars? What if those scholars would have pointed us to other places in Africa? Wouldn't that would have did more for Africa than, talking about spending all of that time with Egypt when all of the excavation and the history of Egypt was already flushed out? That was already done.
None of your questions assumes the benefit of the doubt for the scholars. Why don't you think they would have did that if it was something to say?
That if they didn't do it, how will we know?
You keep presuming
Mhm.
that they didn't presume that they didn't look over the whole of Africa and come to the conclusion that they need to teach about Egypt. You just thinking they didn't look at nothing else and speak about Egypt. I'm saying, how you know that they say, okay, we looked over all this shit. This is what we need to teach people.
Yeah, I think that's what they did.
So if they think that that's what's valuable information for us, why are you disrespecting why don't you agree with them?
Because we were supposed to be writing the history of Africa. not just the history of Egypt. All of
They
Africa.
did. Hold up,
hold
that's
on.
just volume 2.
All
Yeah,
of
you
You
gotta
Africa.
know
go.
there's more volumes than that, don't you?
Right, but
Yeah, you gotta go to volume 2 and 3, bruh.
right, but the resources wasn't put into that. That's the point. It
So-
was
enough
so
resources
you
to tell
don't
the
think it
truth
was
about what
so
the
hold
rest of it
on.
happened?
Y'all
So you think they messed that up?
You
What you think?
Pan-African James, right? Y'all are Pan-Africans, y'all. So y'all don't think that all of Africa is important? You don't like
No, you're not listening.
You're not saying that. You're not phrasing it correctly.
well, help me
First
out.
and foremost, think about it. The resources for a research paper like they drawn are thrown into the project when they're doing archaeology, like years, hundreds of years before. So it was the white man who chose to put the most research funding into doing archaeology in one particular area of Africa. And it ain't no other data. It's not like a Flinders Petrie book that we could go to for South Africa, for instance. You know what I'm saying? And so the majority of the money was already placed into the research in Egypt before Diop ever started writing his research papers. It wasn't them who did it.
No, I agree with that. You had more data and everything about Egypt. I agree. You dig what I'm saying? But even other scholars had complained that the researchers focused too much time and resources on Egypt when they were supposed to be talking about all of Africa. It was other people that participated in the study made that had that complaint about Diop and them.
But Diop and them didn't contribute very much to the whole thing, from what I know.
Yeah.
They just hashed out that it wasn't a European civilization, and they made them concede and go back and say that it was a multicultural civilization. That's all that happened.
What you're saying couldn't be true, because the submission that Diop and them submitted for was the peopling of ancient Egypt and the decipherment of the Meroitic script. Two subjects to address, and those keep you all in Northeast Africa. So if that's the subject he addressing, then the material he gonna submit is gonna be addressing the subjects.
Yeah, but it shouldn't take up the majority of the resources and time that they allotted to write the history of Africa, right?
No, so that was book 1. Book 2 had a complete different title and covered different areas of Africa, and then book 3 did the same. And so Diop's, obviously his expertise led him to be submitted for the peopling of ancient Egypt.
All right, so it's called let's look it up. Because I'm just voicing some of the complaints.
Yeah, they wrote a whole series, Chef. I'm not.
Yeah. So all right. So y'all are under the impression that I don't understand that for some reason. Like
it's kind of hard.
Right.
But you're not addressing that.
But hold up. But let me say some shit, man.
You understand it, but you're not addressing it. Go ahead, John.
The problem was, if you understand, and I hate to even use this word with you right now, but if you understand how the chronology of it worked, Africans was enslaved and colonized. Right. We did not have a voice at once upon a time to even say anything about history. You understand? They didn't even allow us to even put pen to paper and say what we thought about history. So at the time, in the time of the symposium, that is our time to say what we thought, right? And what we came up with was some solid evidence to prove our case, right?
I know, I agree.
So what's the problem?
No, I don't have a problem with what you just said.
That's what happened. These people were making 10 Commandment movies with all the Egyptians. Seti the First was a European. Hugh Brenner was on Ramesses. They've been doing this type of stuff before we even got in the game.
So back to the we thing too. Early in this conversation, back in the General Yohana days, we pulled out some data that said 1 in 10 African Americans share the same DNA as the Pharaoh Ramses.
Mm.
That's just 1 in 10, which would question, did we all really come from the same port in West Africa, or was it more ways up out of there and stuff? But do we think that that's pseudo, or do we think that that's significant?
So you said when y'all was arguing with the Hebrew Israelites, y'all pulled out data and said that 1 in 10 African Americans share DNA with Ramses.
Yep, you can write that right
Look
in
how
Google.
Chef's looking.
You can write that.
That's
You can write
crazy.
that sentence.
You was
Put that
hard for him to
sentence,
say that shit.
put that sentence right in Google, and the article gonna pop up.
Don't
That's gonna be terrible, Chef.
1 in 10 Western Europeans also share that same marker?
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
Oh, you ain't finna do your job, Chef.
No, I'm still looking at
That's some shit he don't even want to type that in the computer. He always
listen.
listen.
I've been around. No, I've been around since.
All night.
I've been around for a minute, so I kind of remember that argument. I kind of remember that data actually. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with it.
That's the data you want to forget.
Yeah, but I'm not the DNA guy. I tell you this all the time. I don't understand that shit. I don't know if it's actually saying what we be saying is saying about certain things, right? I'm completely in the dark on that. You know what I mean? I'm more of a history guy, yo. Like that's where like.
Well, man, don't be doing that, Chef. You can comprehend a paragraph.
No, all that scientific stuff. That Unc and them, y'all go get them with that. Me, I don't.
He can't understand. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's the last person you need to tell us to go get. No.
I'm just saying, when they write little articles like that on the internet, it's normally at the 8th grade level. We can all understand it. If you pulled it up and you really, you don't got to pull it up.
I pulled something in front of Chef talking about these people became Eurasian by 80% genetically at 750 AD. You can't tell me you can't understand.
Hold on, I'm about to pull it up. You said 1 in 10 African Americans share what Ramses?
DNA with Ramses the second, I guess, or the third. Just say Ramses.
Ramses. Okay. All right. Let's say. You want me to put it in Chat GPT or where?
No, I mean, you can do whatever. Let's see what whatever first for you. Yeah.
What is the name of that thing they didn't put on the computer now? That shit is great.
What
is it? Genie or something? When you type in Google search now, it give you all the give you an answer, and then they give you all the sources on the right. That shit is outstanding.
Yeah, they just put their little Chat GPT. That's Google's Chat GPT.
Yeah, they didn't. But yo, it give you all the sources.
Hold on, Chef, real quiet. What you read, Chef?
No, I'm about to put it up. I was just getting the screen ready so the audience can see. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's boom. I won't go to Google Chrome. Boom. All right, here we go.
Yeah, you got a lot going on over there. What kind of setup you got over
there? Yeah, I got this.
You using what on OBS or something?
No, I'm using Ecamm on Mac.
Oh, let's see what I'm saying. That's the problem.
You want some Mac stuff? Yeah.
See what I'm saying? We both dissed them. like that's why stuff's so difficult. We can't see it, Chef. You sure?
Hold on. No, y'all gonna have to look in the. I'm gonna pin it.
Oh, we can see. I can see something.
All right, hold on.
So, I'm gonna have to put it on screen lock or something.
All right, let's say Chat GPT. Let me pull up a Chat GPT.
They love thinking Chat GPT gonna hate.
I don't think Chat GPT gonna hate. So you say, all right, what is it called? 1 in 10 African Americans share DNA with Ramses. The what? Ramses II.
Just put Ramesses. Don't you don't have to put nothing else. Just see what it say. You can put a number if it don't say nothing.
Let's see what it says. All right, 1 in 10 African Americans share DNA with the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Ramses II. Seems to be a misinterpretation or misrepresentation of genetic and historical data. There is no scientific study or genetic evidence that specifically links a significant proportion of the African American population to Ramses II. Genetic connections between populations are complex and influenced by thousands of years of migration, conquest, and interaction. The modern population of Egypt has genetic markers from various regions, including Africa, the Middle East, and Europe, due to Egypt's history as a crossroads of civilization. However, drawing a direct lineage to a specific historical figure like Ramses II requires specific DNA evidence from that individual, which has not been reported to connect with African American ancestry in the manner
Now,
suggested. African
now,
Americans, hold on, let me finish it. African Americans whose ancestors were primarily brought from Western Central Africa to North America through the transatlantic slave trade would likely show more genetic similarities with populations from those regions rather than Northeast Africa, where Egypt is located. If discussing genetic ancestries or historical connections, it is crucial to rely on scientifically validated studies and data.
okay. Now, take that sentence. Now, all you about to do is debunk ChatGPT. So
Right.
take the same sentence and pop it in Google, and you're going to see the article and the DNA study that tells you that ChatGPT telling you don't exist. So just take the sentence instead of querying it in ChatGPT. Just
Put it
pop
in
that
Google.
sentence in Google.
Okay.
Yeah, you can copy it right out of where you had it right at the top or whatever.
All right. Let's see.
That's why cats me. If we think ChatGPT ain't just saying what the white person wants you to say, I can take the same query and make it apologize and correct itself.
Americans.
See what we come up with in Google if we can find the actual article. But it do exist though. You know, it was old. I never heard it refuted by nobody but Goldie.
You said the only person refuted it was Ngozi.
That's who I know.
All right, let's see. All right. According to genetic analysis, a significant portion of African Americans, particularly those of West African ancestry, share DNA lineage with ancient Egyptian pharaohs like Ramses II and Ramses III, with the specific haplogroup being E1B1A, which is most prevalent in West Africa. However, stating that 1 in 10 African Americans share DNA with Ramses is not entirely accurate and should be considered a simplified generalization, as the exact percentage can vary depending on individual ancestry and research methodology.
Okay,
Yeah, see,
now
that statement right there, I can agree with. That's more accurate. I would say that because on my own DNA, they put Ramesses III off of my DNA.
see, now let's note one thing.
Whichever one it is, I can go look. But Ramesses, he actually showed. I think you've seen that before, Chef, right?
Yep.
Let's note that first ChatGPT said one thing, and then we went to the World Wide Web, and then we got another one. Now, if we go, I said 1 in 10 because that's what I remembered that the study said. But if you scroll down, you might possibly find the old article that they're referring to right there. So
right.
that E1B1A was what they said, and we know we got that, and they did find that in the Ramses. But
Bro,
is there
Smash, I
all?
found something last week. It's mind blowing. The Natufians had E1B1A.
Hell no. Not the Natufians.
I ain't even. The shit was crazy. They said that's how they know that we was in East Africa because the Natufians had it. Ain't that crazy?
I'm gonna take that. Let's get ChatGPT right now.
See, you trying to go back to the one that's not working right?
No. I'm gonna get ChatGPT to explain. I took that whole joint.
Yeah, you can't do it like how I'm explaining. But that article that you read this from the internet is pretty much just saying that it may be a over exaggeration, but that E1B1A is valid as being in East Africa at the time of Ramesses II. You can't even get around it.
It's explained. Let's see what it say. It say the claim about African Americans sharing DNA with pharaohs such as Ramses II and Ramses III often revolves around the discussion of certain haplogroups, particularly E1B1A, which is indeed prevalent in West Africa. However, interpreting these genetic connections require careful consideration of what haplogroups represent and how they are distributed geographically and historically. All right. Understanding haplogroups. Haplogroups are categories of genetic lineages that trace back to common ancestor. The haplogroup E1B1A is notably common among West African populations and is also present among African Americans due to the transatlantic slave trade, which forcibly brought West Africans to the Americas. All right. Ancient Egyptian genetics. The genetics of ancient Egyptian mummies have been studied to some extent, and they show a mixture of ancestries. Ancient Egyptians, particularly those from the New Kingdom era, which includes Ramses II and Ramses III, had genetic markers linking them to Northeast African populations, as well as the Near East and other Mediterranean areas. While certain studies have suggested the presence of haplogroup E1B1A in some mummies, this is just one part of Egypt's complex genetic tapestry. Connections between West Africa. Oh, here we go. Connection between West Africa and ancient Egypt. The presence of E1B1A in ancient Egypt and its prevalence in West Africa might suggest some historical migrations or interactions, possibly through trade, warfare, or migration along the Nile from regions further south in Africa. However, this genetic link is not specific to royal lineages or pharaohs alone. It's part of a broader genetic pool. Good point. All right, the simplification of genetic claims saying that 1 in 10 African Americans share DNA with Ramses simplifies and misrepresents the nature of genetic inheritance. While it is true that many African Americans, due to their West African ancestry, carry the E1B1A haplogroup directly, linking this to specific pharaohs like Ramses, without more direct DNA evidence from these pharaohs themselves is speculative. Furthermore, the pharaoh's DNA would only represent a tiny fraction of the genetic makeup of contemporary populations, given the extensive gene flow and admixture events that have occurred over millennia. Conclusion. The narrative that African Americans share direct genetic lineage with specific ancient Egyptian pharaohs based on the presence of the E1B1A haplogroup is a dramatic oversimplification. Genetic lineages are widespread and do not necessarily indicate direct descent from historical figures like Ramses. Such connections are more about shared ancestry with broader populations rather than direct familial lines. It's necessary to approach genetic ancestry with a nuanced understanding of genetics and history to avoid overgeneralizations and misinterpretations.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
So
good point.
no one, and I hope no one, sit up and think that just because they saying that we have the E1B1A marker, that we are directly their ancestors.
Right.
They saying that the West African DNA, they act like they mystified about how it got to East Africa, when we know it's only one way it could have got there. So that's just, this is how they do stuff.
Right.
When you really be paying attention to how they do this genetic game that they play. So I already understand. We're not saying that Ramses the second is my but it's on my DNA profile. And they do this with Europeans. They'll say somebody with the same haplogroup as George Washington, that's in their DNA. That's what they do in commercial DNA records. But that don't mean that I think, and I'm dumb enough to think, that me and Ramses is family like that. That's
No.
5,000 years ago.
No, I think the point, I think this helps. It's crazy that, if y'all were arguing with the Hebrew Israelites, what the Hebrew Israelites were saying, that the Egyptians wasn't African, what was they saying? Why did this come up? Or was they saying what we're saying, that y'all don't have no connection to ancient Egypt? What was the reason for that?
They just threw a whole bunch of stuff against the wall. That was like in 2015 or something.
No, I
saying
remember.
They was gay. They had all kind of stuff they was saying. Man, see what I was saying? But see, that's when we were still in the entertainment phase of this. I look at that type of stuff now as what's the ramifications of what happened then. Like, some people took that whole thing, and some people went that way. And that's amazing to us. You know what I'm saying? Even though the information, we might have won in the information situation, that made some other people attracted to that information. And now we got Hebrews on the corner here in Texas, all the way to the West Coast. You see what I'm saying? So I just be looking at stuff like that and just being amazed. It's kind of like hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Have you ever just thought about it?
Yeah, but they saying is some North Africans in the chat. They're saying that Ramses was EM78.
Man, nobody got. That's what I'm saying. That's how they don't even have.
Which Ramses they talking about? Now, specifically, the Ramses with E1B1A is Ramses the Third. I'm about to get on the computer. If any of them North Africans want to come in the chat, come on. I'll be right back. Yeah.
All right. That's dope. All right. He said, so Astro says Hitler was E1B1B. So does that make him East African?
No. Well, see, this is what's going on. And see, that's when we can. So now we talking about my lane.
Okay.
These Y chromosomes are African Y chromosomes. You can be, you can have your MT DNA or your mother's DNA, which is what we see off in the pictures from the Egyptians. There's a lot of mixing going on with the outside women. So you can start to look like a non-African if you keep doing that over millennia, over centuries. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So yeah, they still have their father's African Y chromosome, but they have their mother's MT DNA, which is non-African. So that's why they look like they look. That's why they have the least amount of Neanderthal DNA amongst Eurasians, because they are more mixed with the Africans. Africans have, that's what I be trying to tell you, it's all a measuring game. So these people that's in North Africa, they're 80% Eurasian. It's decided, and it's beautiful because we're in 2025 or 24, but we can do exact measurement now. There's no more guesswork. Diop and them was guessing. Right. Now we got the whole genome of the human genome. So now it's no more guesswork. So if we really wanted to know what Kamala was, we could tell her to go take a DNA test.
That's a fact.
We didn't even have to guess.
That's a fact.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a fact. So
That's what happened to what was that senator, that white lady that was claiming she was an Indian. She took that. You know what I'm talking about? She was saying she was a whole Indian. She took that test and had to tell the truth that she has been lying the whole time.
So I'm trying to. What do we where do we agree at tonight, James?
Mm-hmm.
Did we make any? Did we make any progress tonight?
I don't know. It's on you. I mean, I'm where I was before I got on the show. So damn. I don't know. It depends on if I moved the needle for you. You the litmus test. If have you gained anything from this? Hopefully you have. But I mean, you gotta understand.
Hopefully we both have. Hopefully we both have.
Well, I mean, yeah, but we gotta understand Diop in his time and what was going on. I know you've seen the 10 Commandments, Chef.
I've definitely seen the 10. My grandmother.
When you was young, you thought that you never thought.
It's a good movie. Hold on. Let's not act like
it's a great
the 10
movie.
Commandments.
It's a great
movie. Right.
I look at it now every year now.
Yeah.
Because it's fascinating to look at how they did that to us.
It's a good movie.
When I found out of our history and I found out about the Washington Monument, I felt disrespected. I said, "Oh wow." So they've been knowing about our history, and because we couldn't read no books or nothing. They didn't erected all this stuff and took stuff from, you know what I'm saying, from our culture and put it up here. You know, when you look on the back of the dollar and you see the pyramid and you see Heru basically transformed to the eagle in America, you know what I'm saying? That means something if you know the history and you can give that to your people. So our people ain't crazy. The greatest of our historians, Chef, and I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna keep trying to beat this into everybody, to say that they was wrong, y'all gonna have to come up with some evidence. Because I've already taken you to Diop, which is the West African, pointing Africans to the beginning of their source information as far as the civilization to Egypt. So you're gonna have to combat that.
So what is Rome, right? What was one of the zoo types that Rome used as didn't they use the eagle?
It's many civilizations to this day that use the eagle. Mexico, Russia,
right? They
all use Germany. They all use the same images that came up out of it. It's the same thing. That's how you set up your own territory.
So you think the Romans used the eagle because the Egyptians used the
Persians? They all did. They all did. The Persians, all of them did. Matter of fact, you want me to show you in some images? This shit ain't gonna even take long. Watch this.
I'm gonna chat GPT this shit.
Nah, don't. Okay, yeah, you do that. But watch this.
Dude, the ancient Roman eagle. Oh shit.
Man, I hope I can find this real quick. It shouldn't take long.
What you pulling up? You about to share your screen?
No, just give me a second before I do, because I got a big folder worth with stuff in it. I gotta find it. It's been a minute since I was in this folder. I think it's in my YouTube folder. I don't know. Damn. Yeah, but I got this thing with a bunch of flags on it, and that's terrible. I know I'm probably, because when you're in a rush and you trying to find something, you never find the shit. But I got a folder with the same subject, and it shows all the nations' flags that have the eagle or some type of falcon representation on it.
The symbol of the eagle as a prominent emblem in ancient Rome is not directly derived from ancient Egyptian iconography. Both civilizations used the eagle symbolically, but their uses developed independently due to different cultural meanings and historical contexts. Ancient Egyptian used the eagle. In ancient Egypt, the eagle was not a central symbolic animal. The most significant bird in the Egyptian symbolism was often the falcon, associated with the god Horus. Horus, depicted as a falcon or a man with a falcon's head, represented the sky, kingship, and protection. The use of the falcon was widespread in the iconography related to pharaohs and divine protection. In ancient Roman use of the eagle. For Romans, the eagle, the aquila, was a powerful symbol of strength, courage, and immortality. It was prominently used as the standard of the Roman legions from around the 1st century BC. The legionnaire eagles had enormous importance and were considered almost sacred objects embodying the honor and prestige of the troops. The eagle also symbolized Jupiter, the king of the gods in Roman mythology, further linking the bird to authority and power. Conclusion. Oh no. Development and significance. The Roman adaptation or adoption of the eagle as a military standard likely stemmed from the earlier standards used by other civilizations they encountered, including the Etruscans and the Greeks, who also used the eagle as a symbol of power and divine protection. The symbol of the eagle was thus a part of a broader cultural exchange in the Mediterranean region, reflecting common themes of power and divine sanction in imperial iconography. Conclusion. While both the ancient Egyptians and Romans used bird symbols extensively, the Roman eagle does not originate from Egyptian iconography. Instead, it developed from a complex interplay of influences and shared cultural themes across the civilizations of the ancient Mediterranean. The eagle's adoption in Rome as a legionnaire standard and its association with the highest of their gods highlights its unique path in Roman culture and military history.
Okay, Chef, you did good. But watch this.
Okay.
So you're gonna tell me, let me share my screen real quick. Man, can everybody see this?
Hold on. I'm about to share it.
Watch this.
All right, first off, let me go to my screen share. Where's my screen share? All right. The hell? I'm gonna turn that off. Then I'm gonna go to boom here. And we're gonna go to Pan-African share. Okay. Flags with Heru on them. Go.
Okay. Now this flag I created. Now would you agree that this is Heru?
First off, you done fucked up.
No, I'm not. Hold on. I'm
just talking
about. Look at
James didn't put up his motherfucking flag. No, go ahead, James.
No, look. Okay, I'm just talking about. We agree this is Heru, right?
Yeah, that's what you put on there. Yep.
Okay, so in chronological order, this is the first image of this type of shit. Now watch this. Whose flag is this? This is the Polish presidential flag. Look what it looked like. That don't look like this. Now watch this. We're just gonna keep going. We're gonna speed it up. This is the American flag. They didn't take this from this.
I said the Roman.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just going. We're gonna go through all. We're going through two flags. This is the United Arab flag right now. These are flags now. The nations now. This is the older presidential flag when they first got over here. But just watch this. This is the oldest one that they got. This is what these people see. Look at these stars that represent the sun. So what I'm saying. So just watch this. So just look at what I'm saying.
The stars represent the sun.
where the sun was over Heru's head, that
Okay,
represents
yeah.
that same type
Right.
of thing is what I'm saying. And the
Right.
things that he has off in his tablets right here. But just look at this. This is somewhere Nagana. Watch this. This keep going. This is Russia. Same thing. Something over his head. This is right now. These are nations right now. This is Southern Australia. Same type of a bird symbol. Now this is the eagle flag, Iranian flag from 559 BC.
Persia.
Is this not Heru? Is it not? From 5590 BCE to 33 CE.
Yeah, I think I see
they stole
the
it.
thing over top of his head. What's that?
Yeah, and then look at what he got in his hand. He got the shins right here.
Yep.
But just look at this. Okay, this is the Arab. This is the modern Egyptian thing, right? This is Austria. This is Germany. This is somewhere in Tokyo. This is Mexico. We know what Mexico flag look like. Moldova. All of these, this is what they do, bro. They taking the history from way back there. I can keep going on and on. Look. These are all different countries right now today that do this. With the sun disk over the top of see what I'm saying? Or the sun disk incorporated in it, over top of it. It's just different variations of the same thing. Ain't nothing changed. They just stole African history and created their own nation state with that history. So I stopped sharing, but I'm just saying this is going on right now. And this crown represents like the sun from what I've observed. What I'm saying is that eagle, if all of these nations got that from Kenya. So you can sit up and try to say I was just talking about Rome, but we know Rome got it from somewhere. They wasn't writing before the Egyptians.
Yeah, they say that's not right, and that's just iconography.
Yeah, but that's how this go, bro. I just showed you. So you can sit up and tell me that's just a coincidence that all these nations are using the same image today. You don't want if you can read ChatGPT, or you can look at them images and tell me that you think they took that from that rendition and put it on their flag.
No, I'm just saying that it say that Rome didn't get it from.
I know that, Chef. But what was wrong? When was wrong? Right? Type that in. They weren't doing a bunch of shit.
But that ain't right.
They might have got it from some Persians or whoever else in chronological order. But that shit go down to the Greeks or somebody like that. Somebody that came before them, bro. They brought up the Greeks. So where you think the Greeks got it from?
The Greeks got it from the Etruscans, it says right there.
When were the Etruscans right? When they came up with a flag?
No, they just a symbol of the of using the eagle. And they're saying
so you
that
think the Etruscans was using a bird as an image for their civilization before the Egyptians?
I didn't say they was using it before. Just because somebody used something before. Can two people come up with the same idea?
We know when somebody copying off our paper in school, Chef, don't we? Is it hard to know when somebody copying off your paper? No, do you want me to put them pictures back up?
No.
Let's stop doing this, bro. We can't be acting like we slow around here, bro. This shit ain't that hard. Them folks wasn't even thinking about no flag or having no bird.
You don't know what those people was thinking about.
But if they was, they would have thought about it before we did. Look, I put we on it. You know what I'm saying? They would have. That's why our ancestors, man, I don't understand why y'all don't want to accept the coldest, how cold they had to be to come out of slavery, Chef. Learn how to read. Go back and look through all of the history the Europeans had wrote down and retrieve this history. Like, why wouldn't you want to give them their flowers?
I did.
You know what I'm saying? No, y'all anti-DI. Y'all anti-Dr. Clark and Dr. Ben around here. That's the sentiments like.
They were wrong, bro. Like, and it's okay, they human.
They was wrong. So who's right? Let's stop talking about them. Who right? What should we? I asked you this when I first met you. I don't know if you remember this. I said, where do you start your history at? Do you remember when I asked you that?
And what I say? Because I might have changed my mind.
You said you said some wild shit. The shit was so wild. I think you said with the Big Bang. That's what you said. You said you started your history with the Big Bang. It was crazy.
It was crazy.
That's
crazier than your
still a
shit.
young pseudo killer. That was you still a young pseudo.
Yeah. True.
Look, I didn't put the killers on there.
Yeah, that's true.
You was a young pseudo back then.
I was
I asked you. That was my first question I ever, because you know you and Corey don't understand some of the wildest shit I ever heard in history, right? So I was like, I gotta ask these. No, y'all really brought me to even start being on shows because I couldn't believe that somebody was on
saying some shit like that on the internet
that didn't know anything. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all must have just came. I knew you could tell that y'all ain't really been studying no history.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all just came on here really just to talk some shit.
Right.
That's what's really going on. Because it ain't no way y'all could have studied this history and be in disagreement with what your ancestors did. When I say that your greatest ancestors, I mean the greatest of your own historians, and you don't want to acknowledge that it was Diop and Dr. Clark now, that is the problem. You don't think so?
No, I don't think that
it's a universal. And you know, it ain't like this is something we doing. This is something that our people did. They come to a universal agreement that that's what this is. Now y'all might be late to the party. That's kind of what it is. Y'all because y'all late to the party, y'all don't want to agree.
So
the consensus when people do stuff and they put in real work, it's just like saying, man, Kobe ain't Kobe. See that you understand that now because you love sport. It's just like saying Kobe didn't put in all this work and do what he did. Now we can't say Kobe was Kobe. You didn't watch Kobe. You came up in the LeBron area. I didn't see Kobe play, or Jordan wasn't one of the coldest that ever touched you. Because I didn't see Jordan play. I can't acknowledge. But everybody else is telling you, man, Jordan was cold, the coldest thing that ever touched, laced up some shoes. But you saying now Jordan ain't nothing because I didn't know nothing about it.
I think that over here we only focus on Afrocentric historians and scholars. So now I'm gonna make it my business to look at the broader African American historians, and I'm gonna see what they say on the topics, right? That we discuss, right? I'm gonna see what they write about. And if they don't write about Egypt all the time, like Diop and them, I'm gonna start to believe that Diop and them was just some Afrocentric Egyptomaniacs, right?
Well, no, but you do know that Dr. Clark, he traced it just like you talked about when he met Arthur Schomburg and he told him, go look through the people of your enslavers' history to find your history. So he went through West African history. He went through European history. You got to go through all of it to find African history. They didn't just go straight to Egypt, Chef. You know that, right?
Yeah, they did it kind of how I did it.
Yeah, but see now they had
you told me I was wrong.
They had the conclusion, and now they telling you what's up. You see what I'm saying? But we all know. I mean, we all been indoctrinated with George Washington cut down the apple tree. All of that, Christopher Columbus came in and discovered. We already know all this, Chef. We know about the Civil War. We know all this. We know about the Texas-Mexican War. We know this. We know we had a major migration of African Americans that went north during the Industrial Revolution. We know this. But what don't we know? What did they keep from us? What did they keep from you?
Egypt.
Why did they keep that from you?
Because they knew niggas like you was gonna go crazy with it.
No, they knew that was going to empower us. Because what did Egypt create? What did they discover? What did they give to the world? Do you know that they gave us the ability to understand 1 second in a minute? You got to be cold to do something like that, Chef.
No, dope shit. I ain't listen.
1 second makes 60 seconds makes a minute. You got to know that. They did that. They calculated time first. But you don't want to say that the Africans did it?
They are Africans. They did do it.
Okay, now word. Now, so we over that hurt.
Right.
Now you gotta understand
That wasn't a
about
hurdle
when
though.
Eurasians. You gotta understand
I ain't
when
jump.
Eurasians started to
I didn't
populate.
jump. It's not even a hurdle. I walked with you. We
Okay,
we
that's
walking
good.
together.
I'm glad we got somewhere today. I will say that, man. I'm proud of myself. Me and the team.
They
Man,
came up with the minute, and they was the first people recorded to calculate time that way. Go, and they were
Right.
African.
So
Go.
yeah, so when somebody is trying to rob you of that type of knowledge, that is something to fight for, don't you think? If somebody's trying to accredit themselves and put Elizabeth Taylor as Cleopatra and Hugh Brenner as Ramses III, and that's not true. We know Europeans weren't there. At best, we can say some Arabs, but we're not giving Arabs nothing. But at the same time, at the time when we was being indoctrinated, they were saying that was them.
What was that their?
But Diab was on the scene, right?
So was that their phenotype? Would Elizabeth Taylor be really that much phenotypically different from Cleopatra?
I don't know, Chef, because we ain't seen nothing but a mummy of this lady. And we know that like 90% of the Egyptian mummies got destroyed because they were smoking them up.
No, I don't think we seen a mummy of Cleopatra.
I'm just saying, I don't know what she looked like.
Yeah, but we know she was Greek though.
If I don't even know if we got any genetic material on her or anything.
Slow down. We do know that she was Greek though, right?
I don't know.
She was of Ptolemy.
I don't know how she got on the throne. How could she get on the throne if she was a full Greek?
Because
I thought she married Mark Antony and
right.
Caesar and all that married and had kids by him to solidify them being on the throne.
She was a descendant of.
She was the last one to be of royal descent, I thought.
Yeah, but that she came from the Greeks, right? She came.
Maybe I would say maybe
the general.
Persia or something.
No. Listen, the general Ptolemy. He was one of Alexander's generals, right? When Alexander conquered Egypt and he went on to try to conquer Asia, right? He died in Asia. When he died in Asia, his generals that he left in certain provinces then took over those provinces. Egypt and North Africa was one of those provinces. Now, Ptolemy was the general. He then became the pharaoh of Egypt. Cleopatra is a descendant of the Macedonians that took the throne in Egypt. They were Greeks.
Okay, yeah, I know she wasn't no damn Greek.
No, yeah, no. Macedonia is a Greek.
You saying they are. What are you saying? Why are you using different names? Are they different tribes of Greeks or something?
Yes.
Okay, so you using different. Okay, word.
Yeah, Macedonia is a Greek state. It was a Greek city-state, right? Macedon. Like Alexander, we call him a Greek, but he was actually a Macedonian Greek, right?
Yeah, different tribe.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So Ptolemy, when he left Ptolemy in charge, Ptolemy is one of his generals, became pharaoh of Egypt. And then 10 generations later, we get the Cleopatra of history. I'm saying if Ptolemy and them were Greeks and Cleopatra is a descendant of Ptolemy, then why wouldn't Elizabeth Taylor be able to play her, because she would have a more European phenotype?
I might not be able to argue that particular rendition. But I damn sure can argue that Seti the First and Ramses the Second ain't no damn European.
All right, so we definitely got Ramses DNA. I'm his mummy. Do you want to look at his mummy?
I don't know, and I don't trust if these people are, because if you understand what the information that I have, I think about 90% of those mummies got destroyed during antiquity.
No, we got Ramses' mummy, bro. He had blonde.
Well, I'm just saying I don't know.
He had blonde straight hair, bro.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I'm telling you,
these people, because they said that Queen Ty was Queen Ty, and they found her thrown in the corner.
No, I'm just going off of the two people that you named, Cleopatra and Ramses. I'm saying Cleopatra could have definitely looked like Elizabeth Taylor because she was of Greek extraction, without question. All right. Now, Ramses, we also have his mummy. Now, if we can look at his remains, we can deduce that he didn't look like us, bro. He had
I don't know what he looked like, but I know I've seen renditions on paintings of what he looked like.
But we have his mummy.
Yeah, okay, but you have his mummy, but that mummy is like decayed like 5,000 years or something.
Yeah, so
that ain't gonna give
so
you
over 5,000 years ago, a black mummy is going to turn is going to have the phenotype of a European.
DNA would be the better way to resolve that issue. Just like I said, we're in an age of precise measurements. So you said they have Ramesses' DNA. What did it say he was?
So in 5,000 years, James.
Hold on. You said they had Ramesses' DNA. What does it say he is?
He was an Egyptian. He was a North African.
No. It don't. That ain't how it reads. When you get the genetic reading, it's gonna say either you're sub-Saharan African, you Eurasian, Western Eurasian, something like that.
What? So you tell me?
Yeah, that's how it reads. It reads.
It don't say.
Oh, he's an Egyptian. That's it. No, that ain't how it goes. It's gonna give you a genetic breakdown of what you're.
All right, ask me again. Ask me that again.
I was asking. You said that I guess that E1B1A study is the Ramesses test that we talking about. So what I'm asking you for is when they showed the results.
Do it say sub-Saharan African?
Yeah, I'm asking you that. Yeah,
no, I don't think it says sub-Saharan African.
Yeah, so that's what we would need. We would need to see what it says because they do have DNA evidence for him. So yeah, that would be where I would start at besides looking at some type of picture. What does it say that they said the genetic makeup was? Did they say he was 70% Eurasian? What does this say?
Listen, y'all, he's not going to accept the mummy of Ramses. He just said it. He said he's not going to look at the mummy.
I'm 91.8% in sub-Saharan African. You see that picture? You see what I look like? I got European in me, so it ain't no big deal. But I'm just trying to let the listening audience know that this goes by percentage. So if I was 91% European, I wouldn't be looking like that. I would have 5% African DNA, and I would be looking totally different than what I look like.
I already agreed that Ramses and the Egyptians are African, bro.
Nah, but that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the genetic study that they did on Ramses.
All right, so
got a paper.
They
got a paper on it. It say what percentage.
I typed it in. Do Ramses' DNA say he's sub-Saharan African? The discussion about the ethnicity and genetic background of Ramses II has been influenced by various interpretations and studies, including the analysis of his mummy through modern scientific methods. However, it's crucial to understand that direct DNA analysis that conclusively determines his racial background in contemporary terms like sub-Saharan African has not been publicly released or confirmed by the scientific community. Historical and archaeological context. Ramses II, also known as Ramses the Great, was one of Egypt's most powerful and celebrated pharaohs, ruling during the 19th dynasty and the New Kingdom period. He reigned for about 66 years, all right, and is well known for his extensive building programs, military expeditions, and the signing of the first known peace treaty. His reign significantly influenced the cultural and political landscape of Egypt. Genetic analysis. In 1970, Ramses II mummy was sent to France for preservation work, where scientists conducted various tests to aid in the preservation process. Reports from examinations, including studies later on, have mostly focused on his health, disease, possible cause of death, and the preservation state of the mummy. There were several examinations made to analyze the mummy of Ramses II, initial examinations in the 1970s, and later analysis such as those using CT scans, mainly aimed to assess the pharaoh's health and embalming process and the reconstruction of his facial features. These studies revealed details about his physical appearance, health issues, and the techniques used in his mummification, but did not focus on extracting DNA for ancestral lineage analysis. The question of race and ancient DNA. The concept of race as understood in contemporary terms does not translate directly to ancient populations, especially ancient Egyptians, who were at the crossroads of Africa, the Mediterranean, and the Near East, melting pot of various cultures and peoples over time, which is reflected in the genetic diversity of the region's historical population. Conclusion. In summary, while there has been such much speculation and various non-academic claims regarding the race of Ramses II, there is no scientific consensus or published genetic data that categorically states Ramses II was sub-Saharan African, Caucasian, or of any specific contemporary racial group. Discussions about his ethnicity based on DNA are more speculative than fact-based, and interpretation should be approached with caution, keeping in mind the complexities of ancient genetics and the historical context of ancient Egypt. So we don't have no data on that.
Yeah, I see that. Now I wonder, let me show you this, Chef. Because I wonder, what is his relationship to Ramesses III? Peep this out.
Okay, hold on.
Now you see down here where it say Ramesses III at?
Hold on, let me put Pan-African James. All right, I got to. Boom, got you. Let's go.
Okay, so they said Ramesses II, they ain't got no data on. But Ramesses III, I don't know if this is his son or what's going on. Mm-hmm. But Ramesses III is 93.6 sub-Saharan African. You see that right there in the black?
Hold on, where is that?
You see that? Right where my mouse is right here? It says Ramesses III, and you slide all the way over to the black. It says sub-Saharan African at the top. It says 93.6 sub-Saharan African. Can you see that?
Uh-huh.
It says East Asian or Eurasian or East Asian. 6.1%. So they're not denying that he has admixture. Are they saying that he just 100% African, Chef?
Hold on, let's deal with this.
No, I'm just asking a question. I'm just trying to go through this one little thing that we could talk. So are they trying to say that he's 100% African right here?
Where is that? Say that again.
So we went from the 93.6. Now we on the 6.1. It's right. We go up to the top. It says East Asian. So they're not saying that he's 100% African, are they, Chef?
No.
Okay, so we're going to go to Asian, 0.3. So all of this makes up his whole genetic pie. Would you agree? Would this all equal up to 100?
Yeah.
So they're saying that they genetically.
So hold on. So SSA means sub-Saharan African. EA means East African.
East African.
And
or Eurasian, or Eurasian. That probably means Eurasian.
Oh, Eurasian. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
it's either one of the two.
So we don't know what it means.
I would definitely say it means Eurasian.
No, this is your source.
Okay, go ahead.
So you saying it means Eurasian?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
And A means Asian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Now go ahead. I got you. I understand the key. Now go ahead.
Okay. So I'm gonna. I know you say you don't really do the DNA thing.
No, I
this is so when you get your DNA test, if you ever take one, this is how it's gonna come. It's gonna tell you what percentage you are of sub-Saharan African. Mine's right here say that I'm not. Right here, I'm in 2024, right? I'm 91.8% sub-Saharan African right now. I'm 5.8, 5 point something percent European. And then I'm 2 point something percent Native American, because we came over here. So that's what my 100% power say. But Ramesses the third, and I don't know if he's Ramesses the second son. I don't know what's going on, but he's highly African, Chef. I just want you to know that. Okay.
No, I see it. I'm reading it now. No, keep that up. I'm reading it.
Okay, my bad.
I'm trying to understand it. I think this is what we was going over with. You and Ngozi was arguing over this right before.
Yeah.
Okay. Geographic region. And this was the pop affiliator region.
Right.
So go ahead, explain. So what is this supposed to be saying?
It's just telling you
what is this study
from the
about?
pop affiliated and the population that Soy Kenyatta put in there. This is the reading that they got. Now, when somebody is this highly African in his study, like I can show you, if I go to GEDmatch, I can put my raw data into GEDmatch, and just like I told you that I'm 91.8% African in 23andMe, if I put it in GEDmatch, it may either go up or it's going to go down, right? Hold on, I gotta mute that. Hold on. Yeah. So like I was saying, what was I at? I think I was trying to explain to you how it changes. So he's at 93, he's at 90, but if I go to if I put my raw data in GEDmatch, right, it's going to change, but it's not going to make me a whole European. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
It's not going to make this 93 jump over here to Eurasian or East Asian and be 93%. It's not going to do that. It may drop down to 89. It depends on what you have in your PCA. That's all it is, Chef. You understand what I'm saying?
I get that. So
that's what all the principal components. So what Soy Kenyatta did, he probably took a couple of proxies. He might have used Neanderthal, used chimpanzee, and then used the West African proxy, depending on what proxies he used to come up with his results. But this is kind of out of your So what do you want me to do? You want me to lead us up?
I wanted you to explain it.
But so do you understand what's going on? Like if you put your DNA in here, watch this, Chef. I'm gonna say, based on what you look like, I would say you would have an 80 right here.
I used to.
You know, but would that make you non-African? That would make your majority DNA? So what would you say you are? Would you say you're a European because you're 87% sub-Saharan African? Was that what you would do? If you was 85% sub-Saharan African, would you say you're not African?
No, I wouldn't. I would say I'm African.
So what percentage would you need to start to say that you're not African? You're not majority of African.
I think we already
and imagine if you got the 50-50, what you would look like.
No, I think that we already agreed that the ancient Egyptians were African. I think we already agreement that Ramses is an African.
Okay.
All right. Now, I don't understand this shit. Like, but you know what I mean? What is the
percentages?
What is the STR?
You count to 100 and then you split it up. Whatever category this shit fall in is what you are. It's just that simple. It's just if you can't count to 3, that's gonna be a problem. Because it's just 3 categories. It ain't like we got 25. All this other stuff don't even matter. This is what their whole genetic makeup is, this black stuff right here. It's simple.
No, I'm gonna get this. One day I'm gonna understand this shit, and it's gonna be a
man.
problem.
I'm gonna start saying, I'm finna start flooding you with paper. You ain't gonna read them. You know what I'm saying?
No,
you're gonna blow it off, then come back and act like you don't know what I'm talking about.
How did you get that? I'm still trying to figure out where did y'all get that shit from?
Yo, he said where we get it from.
Because I've been looking.
These are all for genetic papers. Go just start looking up. Just look up Soy Kenyatta and PCA. That's how you would probably find it.
All right, so that
type in Soy Kenyatta. This is what you would do. If you want the prompt, type in Soy Kenyatta, PCAs, and Amana studies. And that's you're going to find it. It's going to be a whole study on it. You can read it. Right?
All right, so I'm reading it now. It said, okay, geographical region affinities of Amana and Ramesside mummies based on the Pop Affiliator 1-8 analysis of 8 pairs of STRs. Yeah, I remember y'all was arguing this. It says 8 out of 13 pairs of STRs from combined DNA index systems were used by Hawass et al. Nevertheless, data suggests main sub-Saharan affinities of pharaonic mummies from the 18th and 20th dynasties from 1300 BC, far in the past before the Islamic slave trade. All right. So it means that Ramses and them got their sub-Saharan African components before the slave trade. Before that,
that's beautiful. But like you wouldn't. Why wouldn't you think that that's how they got it? You know what I'm saying? This is why I be tripping on.
No, because like, that was before the East African slave trade. This was 1300 BC, so that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, I'm just saying, but I mean, like
that was before the Islamic slave trade.
Yeah, word. I mean, so that's. I mean, at least we getting somewhere.
Yeah, that was before the Islamic slave trade, so that makes absolutely perfect sense. I'm with them. All right. Then it says it gave a disclaimer. It says disclaimer: the geographical region's affinities were defined according to Pop Affiliator. We acknowledge there might be problems with any type of classifications. Data from Hawass et al. Available here. I don't know what the fuck that is. James, y'all be doing some magic.
No, I mean, but it's so much. It's so much a collection of information that we've provided from Smash and Brother Reggie's and them work with y'all, joke about, act like it's just some type of. But I think y'all don't understand where we at in history. And then because y'all just really came on the scene, y'all don't know how far we've actually come in this discussion. Y'all just really should be grateful to be around people that's trying to help our people like this. Like, but I understand that it's an entertainment thing for some people. Because like I rewatched that video from last night, and Brad said he just now found out about Dr. Clark, and he over here arguing with us. That was crazy. I was like, he said, he just found out. You ain't even when it did. Like when I found out, I would never jump on the show. I need to go research what these people is talking about before I could have an opinion to even voice my opinion. I thought that's how this worked. You just don't be like, I heard about Dr. Clark. He's a fraud.
He didn't say Dr. Clark.
That's what y'all be. That's what y'all be on, man. Dr. Clark, Dr. being a fraud. Y'all ain't never looked at what they was talking about. I bet you. Y'all will say, I ain't never heard Dr. Ben. I ain't never read his book.
I've never said I never heard of I seen Dr. Ben live. So, I mean.
Yeah, I ain't talking about that. I ain't saying all. But most of the people that I be encountering around here lately, they sure have a lot to say. And they ain't even went back and did half the work that some of these people did.
Because
you think that Dr. Ben, he was a whole Hebrew when Malcolm X died.
Right.
You don't think that somebody told him? It's just like me. I just told you at 37 or whatever year it was, I was still kind of I didn't know what my history was. I still had a Bible in the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know. So I just knew what my grandparents and my mom and them was on. So that's what we riding with. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's how it go. Until you figure out, until you get something else that really, and even when I went to prison, the brothers, they recognize other strong brothers. They'll be like, man, you want to join the nation? They try to pull you into that. And I was like, man, this some Arab shit. In my mind, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, nah, why would I leave this to join some Arab? And then they was talking about praying 5 times a day. I was like, I don't even want to do that once. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot. So I was like, nah, I'm cool. So I just so happened I ran up to me. It seemed like I ran up on the right history because this ain't really for me about a religion. It's about the chronology of history. For me, that's what I think we really trying to say. I don't think we trying to get nobody to do some Jabari type stuff. You know what I mean?
Ain't nothing wrong with Jabari doing. I'm gonna interview Jabari this month. That's
word. I'm just saying that ain't what I'm pushing. I don't want you to go out and start doing some wild stuff and start wearing a lock on side your head and all that type of stuff. I ain't going that far with it. So if you look at like the picture that I got, I use Heru, but I modernized it because that's how we dress now. I'm not trying to dress like a Hebrew Israelite.
Mm-hmm.
I got polos and everything, Chef, but you don't even know nothing about it.
You ain't never put
But now I'm chilling. I don't even want to bring it up. But I see somebody with a polo on and they don't even know, bro.
How you come on these panels and you talk all the time and you never promote your clothing line? That's crazy.
Because I know how people are. What they'll do is they'll say that that's all he do is try to promote his business.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
What?
No. But see, I'm way past that, Chef. So if you know, you know. I've been doing this for a long time, bro. I've been doing this over 30. I was the first before Unc had anything. Before anybody around here had a clothing business dealing with the comedic thing, it was only me and a brother out of New York. He had the gold leaf Heru. You ever seen his what is that? Pharaonic brand. Mm-hmm. And then there was another Nuwabian guy. He does nice hats. You ever seen that Nuwabian guy that does apparel?
No.
Man, he cold. I think it's like Nuwapu 25. Man, but he got some nice hats. He was cold with the hats. So man, we've been around doing this. But see, when I started this, I was using this like for an economic thing, so we wouldn't have to be begging. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna say we could use this apparel to start doing stuff in the community after we started to get established with some of the proceeds from the apparel, flags and stuff like that. We ain't got to beg. We got our own cultural continuity that we can start pushing in the community. I'm not with the begging. I'm in a wheelchair too, but I ain't never been no begging type cat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, this stuff is deeper. To see, like when you've been through something, I guess like traumatic for me. Like that's why I be like, y'all be like, why he be saying the stuff he's saying? Because I think some people don't understand how valuable time is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I got shot.
You ain't got time to be
almost killed. Yeah, I almost died in 2000. I've been in a wheelchair. This is my second life. But my 30 years before I got shot, Chef,
you lived.
Yeah. So everything I'm talking to somebody 35 and 36, I had to check myself like when I listened to that old. When I was 38, I just had found out 37. So they got time. But tripping on wisdom, do you know Tookie Williams changed his life and wrote Blue Rays Black Redemption because of Dr. Clark and them and the information they wrote? One of the greatest gangsters that we idolize on these YouTube streets changed his life and started to talk about how he messed up and how he wished he knew this history before he went and messed his life off and got executed. Winnie Mandela, he wrote children's books and everything, and Winnie Mandela came and seen him in prison. They wanted them to pardon him and say, hey, we'll take him in South Africa. Y'all just let him out. He ain't got to come back to America. We'll let him live in South Africa. They wouldn't do it. So this history is important. If you can change a gangster like Tookie Williams, and let's not talk about the influence that Dr. Clark had on Malcolm X, he changed his philosophy to the same thing that Dr. Clark was talking about. So we use those type of influences. If you think, so why you think Malcolm was wrong?
No.
You see what I'm saying? If Malcolm is shifting away from the nation based on the information that Dr. Clark has given him, why you don't think he was giving them some solid information?
No, he definitely was, but he didn't shift away from Islam.
If you go,
he got further.
What I'm saying,
he got further.
he went to the
into
Sunni.
Islam.
He went to the Sunni Islam.
Right. He got further.
He went to
into
Mecca,
Islam.
took his Hajj, but on his way back, he went through Egypt. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But all of the stuff, if you go, like I said, if you go study him, you will see that he was making a transition, and he was 38 when he passed away, 39, 38.
Young man.
So he still had time. He was already on his transition. Like I said, when I transitioned up out of it, I was 38. So I could imagine where he would have been at, because everybody else, if you look at where they winded up at in the end, they all wind up in the same place. Pan-Africanism is the best thing that we have for our people to free Africa, and we use that. And Malcolm X said that we need to use that as a model to free ourselves.
It was always a lot of black Pan-Africans and African Muslims that was Pan-African. That I don't think that. So you can still be a Muslim and be Pan-African.
But let me tell you, Chef, watch this. What I thought was, I think the problem with that is because it still puts us on the wrong trajectory of history. So what happened was, a lot of people, just like with anything, right?
So what, you an atheist?
No. What I'm saying is, when Marcus Garvey came through with that Pan-African movement, that was the movement. But when it dissipated, everybody else created something else. Noble Drew Ali created something. Elijah Muhammad created Pan-Africanism mixed with Islam. What makes it palatable to the African American is the Pan-African message that he got from his Pan-Africanism. You understand what I'm saying? So only thing, just like the Hebrew Israelite, it ain't nothing but Pan-Africanism cloaked in Hebrew Israelite history. So we need to just discard that and just deal with the Pan-Africanism. That's all I'm saying.
No, I listen.
That's false history.
Yeah, they definitely copied.
But you know what? I'm not mad at them, because I understand in the 1800s we was coming out of not knowing who we was. So you think I'm mad at them for that? No, I just understand we in 2024 and we got the corrective information that we can move forward with. That's how it works. We know what we came out of.
No, I'm with you. I think that all of these groups kind of used Marcus Garvey's blueprint. I think that's pretty much, you know what I mean?
Yeah, how else you gonna make it palatable to the people if you ain't talking about them in some type of particular way? If you ain't associating them to the struggle that we dealing with. So when I've studied it and looked at it, that's all these religious are. And it seems like the government will allow them to exist. But when you start talking about some real Pan-Africanism, you got to go. And so the proof is in the pudding. As soon as Malcolm started talking about that, it seemed like he was gone within 6 months when I did the chronology of everything in his life, as far as like when he left the nation to when he, look at that shit. That's crazy.
Yo, brother.
That's crazy, Chef. Look at that. But see, this is, you know, and I didn't have no kind of history to say that wasn't true. I had no inkling.
But look at this mummy, though.
I don't know if that's his mummy.
Oh,
I don't know what's
God, you gotta stop, James.
Let me say the reason why I say this, Chef, because his tomb wasn't sealed when they found that thing. When they found that mummy right there, only one that I can say that's for sure him is King Tut, because when they found it, the tomb had the seal still on. So you know that's him, but anybody else is in question to me. That's just how I do it, because I know
this the one that they got the DNA from that said he was
I don't care what's
African.
Going on.
Look,
I don't know
James,
who that is. I don't know.
Do you agree that the DNA said he was sub-Saharan African 93%?
Based on the PCA that Toy Kenyatta used, yes.
Yeah. So this is where they got the DNA from.
I don't. If that's Ramses the Third.
No, this is the second.
Well, go to Ramses the Third, man.
No, you said the one Yul Brynner. This is who you.
Yo, I don't know which Yul. I don't know if he was Ramses the First or Second or whichever one he was, but that's who Yul Brynner played. I don't know.
One. I'm telling you.
So he's the son. So you saying Ramses the Second is the son of Seti the First?
Look, this is when I pulled up. Look, you know all of that. This is him. This is who he played. You mentioned Yul Brynner in the Ten Commandments playing Ramses. This is this is the Ramses.
I don't know, bro. I don't know how. Well, what are the real pictures that they drew of him?
This is a real mummy. This is a photograph.
No, I'm talking about some. Okay, you used Yul Brynner. You was cool with that. I'm talking about what did they draw him looking like? Can we get one of them? Like, was this Ramses the third or second?
This is the second. It's a mummy of Ramses.
Now type in Ramses second and see what the facsimile what they drew him looking like. See if he look anywhere like a European to you when we do that.
All right. Well, we can go right up to his
They ain't got no paintings of this man or nothing.
They got paintings. Here was one of the statues of him.
That ain't gonna tell us. It ain't got no paint on it.
Okay.
See that if that's him, that look like a brother sitting up there with his queen. You see what I'm saying?
I see.
And you know that was a brother because Europeans don't even celebrate their queens like that. You see what I'm saying? The whole culture is now let's see. Now pull up on the homie right there. Let's see what he looking like. And you gonna tell me that look like a European?
There you go right there. That's how they painted them.
That's the homie. That's what I would say if I seen him in the flesh. I was like, damn, what's up, homie? You know what I'm saying? So that I'll say, man, I looked up something on old Frederick Douglass too, Chef. And he was talking real wild about Egypt, like why he went there.
What'd he say?
Y'all say he didn't never mention nothing about Egypt. But I went and pulled up the documentation. And after we got out the show, y'all we was rambling and y'all was shooting a whole bunch of arrows at me. But missing. I was doing the Matrix, doing my little getting away. But yeah, Frederick Douglass, he went to Egypt and he said he went there with the purpose of trying to bring back something for the African people that's have pride in it. Ain't that nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all said the man never even mentioned Egypt. He said he went on this European tour, but he specifically when he went to Egypt.
Don't try to make.
That's what he's saying, man. You want me to put it up for you?
An Egyptomaniac. I'm not ready. I don't want to.
You want me to put up?
I do not want to have to do this to Frederick Douglass. That's one of my heroes, right?
Man, let me pull up what Fred said, man.
That's what I'm going to sleep, James. We can do this tomorrow.
Word.
I'm telling you, it's 3:00 here in Baltimore. What time is it?
I already know.
What time is it there?
2:11.
Oh, it's 2:11, and it's Rosh Hashanah, y'all. So
what?
Yeah, the day is Rosh Hashanah. That? The Jewish New Year. Where do you live at? You seem like you live in a remote place, like you think you in Africa somewhere.
We don't celebrate none of that down here, man. We never heard of it.
Y'all don't have a Jewish community in Houston.
You know what? You would be surprised, Chef. These people ain't everywhere.
Oh man, on the East Coast.
I ain't saying that they might be a small community somewhere in Dallas or something like that, because they do got a synagogue because somebody tried to shoot it up a couple years ago. But they ain't like this place where I'm at, it's like 7 million people. So these people ain't everywhere. You just don't see no people with those curls hanging down around it like that. You know what I'm saying? With the hats and shit. You don't see that. But anyway, man, it's been real. Good show. I'm glad I can help out.
Appreciate it.
Word. All right. Peace, y'all.
Peace. So y'all got it right there from Pan-African James himself. You dig? Get yourself some Egypt. Let me end this. Man, listen, I wasn't even supposed to be live, y'all. Corey stuck me with this, man. He ain't shit for that. I supposed to been asleep. It's 3:00. I've been tired all week staying up doing these goddamn shows. Corey smart. He got out of here and left me with Cube. And goddamn, Pan-African James. He knew it was gonna go off the rail. Man, I had a ball. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. It really, I don't know. I think we got somewhere. I'm gonna listen to it again tomorrow. You dig? And we're gonna see what we came up with. But I appreciate everybody for stopping by. And we'll do it again tomorrow, God willing. I said God willing. Wow. That's crazy. Peace, y'all. Hey, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Man, I stay up all night doing this for y'all, so please subscribe. I want to get to 1,000 subs. All right, so subscribe, y'all. Shout out to Tribe Media. Y'all know we partnered with Tribe Media, so let's keep it going. And look out for the battle rap content that me and DQ is about to start promoting. All right, all of those things. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.